for my girlfriend to get in.
Jesus.
As soon as a woman gets in the house, everything breaks.
You were doing what in the shower?
Yeah. To wash. That's what you usually do in the shower.
That's what you do in the shower.
Oh, is that what it's designed to do?
That is the single thing you do in a shower, and no one can tell me any different.
Anyway, welcome.
I just thought showers were subjective, but yeah.
Oh no! Welcome to Smudcast number 324. This is comicsgate and the war on diversity in comic books with special guest Mexie. That's not Mexie on this podcast. This is on the video. So
it's not Mexican. I thought
it's in the original video. Yes.
Tex-Mex.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is.
I don't know who Mexie is.
This is by a YouTuber by the name of José with the accent aigu on the end, so you know it's French. And,
José.
Yeah, and it has about 90,000 views. It came out 2 years ago in January, and it's 33 minutes long. It's kind of long. We probably won't be doing that all tonight or tomorrow as well. We'll probably just do our best take.
Jesus.
Yeah. So apparently this was going to be a lot longer, but he wanted to make separate videos for other things about the financial aspect of comicsgate and the dubious fundraisers involved with it, which I'm assuming are independent comic creators who run off the comicsgate bandwagon at the time. I don't know when was comicsgate? Was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't remember.
To be brutally honest with you, I can't really remember much about comicsgate. It seemed to be such a nothing moment because, to be brutally honest, like Gamersgate, Comicsgate, and all the other gates have all just seemed to merge into them because they're still doing the same shit.
I don't even know what it is anymore.
Yeah, we're just everything's merging into one because everything that everyone's complaining about is.
Well, it seems like the definition changes as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I can't even grasp what the concept behind it is all about.
Mm-hmm. All these gate things are just left wingers saying, "Ew, look at all these Nazis joining up together to fight against us. They shouldn't do that." Like, oh right, so we're
fighting against you by enjoying what we like. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to know the actual definition, what the big deal was. I'm sure it's about people not liking certain products from mainstream publishers and going, "Oh, this is crap."
I'm sure it's just something that happened on Twitter.
Usually, yeah. I know that's exactly what ends up happening is a bunch of people make a big hoopla. And
what year was this video released?
2 years ago.
2000.
So January 2019. So I don't remember.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't remember when it started. That's why I'm saying, was it last year, 2 years ago? I don't know. I can't say.
So much has happened in the last 2 years. And I'm like, there's a lot of other things that happened in the last 2 years that have been a bit more important than Comicsgate.
Yeah, if you are not realizing, comic book sales have not exactly been stellar the past 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So
I wonder why.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not for me to say.
Remember, it's not reboots. It's reinterpretations of recent comics that may or may not have failed in sales.
And all the people that I've spoken to in regards to these potential products that weren't very good, is they tell me why they're not very good. They have these ham-fisted sort of plot lines or storytelling methods. The artwork's not that hot. The actual framing of the comic book with all the cuts, because when you read a comic book, it's all time jump within one page. The cuts were almost stupid, as if you don't even need to have the entire page. So there's lots of bad stuff happening with some of these comics. I think the one was like Riri Williams. Was that the one with the reinvented Iron Man? Or the new version? So
Black Iron Man.
Yeah, so stuff
even though
like
we had
that.
Rhodey, but
stuff like that didn't really resonate.
Does everyone remember? That the big hit of Gotham High?
Oh god.
That's not a joke. That was actually a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does everyone know when the next thing? Because I know that like part 3 had, or like at least a second. I don't even know if like a second or anything has happened with it. All I know is that Mauler, J Longbone, Rags, and Metal have like stopped recording stuff for it.
That bad.
So yeah, they were making fun of it, and then it just stopped because it's like it's really bad. It's honestly like someone who can't draw and someone who can't write have made a comic book.
Yeah, that's not good. See,
and I think the only reason that Bruce Wayne is Asian is because the artist can only draw straight lines and can't do actual eyes.
Well, apparently the guy who they got, I think I remember the story for that specific animation was, or the girl rather, he didn't know anything about Batman, but they wanted to pull in from their own history, so their own upbringing, which happened to be Asian. So you're like, okay, I mean that could honestly work. A rich Asian Batman.
Alfred was gay, a gay Asian.
Yeah, something like that.
What?
It was. I was like, all right. I mean, this could work. This could actually work when you're talking about having.
It could work, but once you started actually seeing what they were doing, it was like,
right.
Fuck me. This is just the worst thing ever.
In theory,
there is like no story. But there's no story.
It's drama. It's just a bunch of kids at high school, and they're just talking about. Did you see this last night? Well, I didn't go with Billy, like all these dumb
enjoys that
soap opera bullshit. So there is a group of people who want to read soap operas, I guess, in comic books, but not the Batman crowd.
Yeah,
so
but
much.
like I'll give.
Why do you have to go comic books for that?
Yeah, but here's the thing: I will give the crappy teen dramas one thing. They are better written than what was in Gotham High. They are. You put Gotham High compared to 90210. And 90210 looks like Hamlet.
Even
seriously,
Degrassi?
Degrassi's Macbeth, like, compared to Gotham High. Gotham High makes Spot Go to the Park look like War and Peace, and like, it looks great. Gotham High literally looks like a person who's only just learnt how words work. It's like someone's defrosted a Neanderthal and told them, write a Batman comic.
Well, I don't know what the big deal is. I haven't watched these shows. I'm not interested in a lot of comic books these days unless they're really interesting and someone's like, hey, Smud, you should check these particular series out. And that's after it's been...
You're just interested in manga titties. That's it. We all know.
I would not deny that, but that is one of like 30 different things I look out for in a manga. Not in a Western comic.
Sorry. Okay. Manga titties and manga asses. Okay, so that's 2 out of the 30.
Okay, the 29 other variables are versions of ass. Yeah, thanks, Hawk.
What about ass?
Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about ass, apparently.
Yeah. There's a lot to say about ass. It's great. You just get you a whole handful of ass, and you're just like, wonderful.
It's kind of interesting how our interest
like
in
eating it, don't you?
In art and video games and music and comic books all sort of come together, and you look at things that incorporate all of them, and manga is slowly doing that because it incorporates video games and music and cute girls and crazy fantasy worlds and power fantasies.
It's like the people who make manga know what the audience wants to look at, whereas like Western creators are forcing people to.
Oh yeah, it's great.
What
like
they want.
They actually
and you're like,
say, I don't want to read manga anymore. I want to make manga because it doesn't have what I want, and that's a great thing to see a talented person, especially a person who could have been an engineer. Like some of these writers are engineers. It's the only way they could write the content that I like reading, and it happens to be a guy who was an engineer in Japan and gets transported to another world, another body, and he's reinventing the Renaissance pretty much up to the industrial era of Earth and in this medieval setting. So you have to know your science, and he's explaining how to invent things and the smelting process and how to refine metals and gases, how to capture that, all these beautiful science. This is stuff I like. It's like, oh my God, he's explaining the scientific method and making guns and defenses and how to build walls and use mortars and and concrete and all kinds of wonderful technology. So it's just for me, it's fantastic stuff. It's colored. It's big panels, big long. I think they're called manhwas, the South Korean version of manga. So it's just beautiful looking artwork with, again, nice big anime titties. And there are some asses indeed, yes, but it's all good sciencey.
And there's also some books as well. Yep.
There's books, yes. There's definitely lots of books. He makes his own books. He makes his own science textbooks to teach others, so they can know what. It's a brilliant. It's called Release That Witch. I've said this before on the stream, but anyway, I can ramble on about this manga, but I'm not, because we're not here for that. We're here for Western comics and the war on diversity, whatever that's all about.
Yay!
Yeah.
If someone ever asked me what the difference between like Western comics and manga is, it's like if you grab a woman in manga, you're gonna get a nice pair of breasts. If you grab a woman in Western comics, you're probably gonna get a dick. I think that's the main difference. Anyway, continue with the video.
Oh, we just lost. we just popped off. I don't know. Is that?
Hawk's always thinking about dick, isn't he?
Who just popped off? I think Bears has popped in.
Well, he was here, and then he just disappeared.
Is that a workout term?
What? No. What are you talking about?
Eric, what do you smoke before you come onto here? Because honestly, some of the things you come out with.
Anyway.
Bluegrass.
Anyway, Bearserker, we're not sure is going to pop in, but we do have LiteratureDevil. Hey, LiteratureDevil, how's it going? What's happening, buddy?
Oh, hi, LiteratureDevil.
Oh, LD.
Oh, pretty good. All right, let's tear this guy a new one.
Okay, I don't know if you've heard of this guy before. His name is José, and he's French.
No, I haven't.
And he has a 33-minute video on comicsgate from 2 years ago.
José's not a French name, though.
José is an accent aigu. Accent aigu at the end.
Spanish. Spanish, as you know.
Yeah, it's not French, is it? It's not a French name.
Well, in Canada, if it has an accent aigu, it's probably French. So.
But that doesn't mean it's
necessarily.
That's French Canadian, completely different. French Canadians are like the hobos of the French world.
Actually, their language is more sophisticated than Parisian French. Believe it or not, it's it's old school French. Yeah, it's very from like Napoleon times. It's the style of French they're using still. So
Corsican, then.
I don't know the exact term. Yeah. It's
so wait. Like Wait, what does a French Canadian sound like?
Well,
the same as a regular French?
According to actual Parisian French, they sound like they're extremely formal with all their sentences. Whereas Parisian French is much more loose, apparently, or more modern. I don't know. I really don't know. There's so many conjugations of verbs that I can't follow all the French terms and this and that. So
I assume memorize them all.
I assume the difference is like a French Canadian has like 22 different words for sorry. That's what the difference I think is.
Je suis désolé. Oh yes. Oh, anyway, yeah, this is going to be a long video. We're not going to cover it all. We're not going to cover it all tomorrow. We probably won't even do it tomorrow. It's just enough to see what the hell this guy's talking about. And,
going by the title, it seems like one of those that just you can tell everything they're going to say in the first few minutes. So yeah, probably won't need to go through the whole 33 minutes.
We wanted to find out.
They're all Nazis. Yep. They're all bigots. They're blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
same song and dance you've heard 1,000 times before.
We've been wanting to find out, when did comicsgate actually start? Because seems like this is old news, and it is a 2-year-old video, but
since ever.
comicsgate started like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, did it?
Because apparently this video is going to be longer, but because he wanted to cover comicsgate and then the nefarious, I don't know, some not investments.
War on diversity.
Well, I don't know exactly how he termed it, but we're talking about the fundraisers involved with comicsgate. So I'm assuming independent people who started their own comic books as a result of picking back off the comicsgate hashtag.
Well, the whole thing kind of started with all the comic books becoming political, like having like overt politics in there, like bias. not bipartisan but partisan politics in there being pushed. And then it started off as a,
was it just, were they just like communist manifestos, like with like superheroes in it?
Sort of. If it was that, it'd be even better than that, because it was even more petty than that stuff. You can, like, some of the creators would get in a fight with some rando on Twitter, and that rando on Twitter would be the bad guy in the next comic book. That's how petty they got. I saw that happen. So, but it started off as a like, it's still a consumer movement, but it started off as a purely like what the fandom menace is. It kind of started with like how the fandom menace started, just like critiquing these things and kind of like putting pressure on them to kind of, you know, give us good stories, not to change to suit what the audience demands, but just to remove one element that is pushing most of the fan base away. And then they decided to instead make fun of you and call everyone Nazis and call everyone evil bigots and stuff like that. Or you're just a bigot because you're trying to tell this person what to do. You don't like it because it's not really about politics. You don't like it because she's a woman or something like that. And then it really kind of took off with your boy Zach, diversity in comics. And it was like they kind of got away with it. Like, it was like a Scooby-Doo moment. We would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you, your boy Zach. Diversity in comics, you know, Richard Meyer. And that's kind of really what happened, because when he came out with his little YouTube channel, that was maybe around, so it got really famous kind of really fast, but it was only around maybe 10,000 subscribers at most. But it had the power and influence of like someone who had 1 million at that point. He was shaking the entirety of Marvel, at the very least Marvel, to his foundation, and they went after him hard. Some people, they've got like private investigators are digging through his life and started harassing his kids online and started to get him fired from this and that place. And I mean, they couldn't find his place of location. I don't know how, but they couldn't find his employment. But if they would have gotten him fired. They went through his whole life, they spread all kinds of articles about how he was a Nazi and a white supremacist. And he happened to unfortunately be in Charlottesville during that day in Charlottesville. And it's like, oh, he was there to buy comics, huh? And now all of a sudden he's a Nazi. And then he went on the famous interview with that Australian guy. I don't know, I forgot his name is. That one Australian comedian who got outed as cutting up all of his interviews so that the guy he was talking to looks stupid and he looks good. Bad idea. It's kind of funny because
Jim?
Yeah, Jim Jeffries. Like he never lived it down, because he could either go on Jim Jeffries or Joe Rogan. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to go to Joe Rogan. I'll go to Jim Jeffries.
One of the J's, right?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But that kind of started the whole movement. It kind of woke up a lot of people up from the industry. And that's how EVS got involved, and it kind of cascaded from there. And then there was a secondary movement, not a secondary, but like another effort called #MoveTheNeedle. When #MoveTheNeedle it worked in the theory that the creators themselves don't actually know what people are buying, because when they sell comic books, when they have the numbers up there, it's what the stores are buying. That's how many they're selling to stores. And then, by then the stores kind of take all the blunt force and the losses of anything that doesn't get sold. And so what happens is that they say, oh, they sold 1 million copies. No, that's not going to happen. They sold maybe 20,000, 100,000 copies of this one comic book. But the thing is, it's shops that bought them, and maybe the shops altogether sold 10,000 copies of that 100,000 stack. So what #MoveTheNeedle was to like an online effort to say, hey, I bought this comic book in the store as a customer, and then you tag in the creators and you say #MoveTheNeedle in order to move the needle so that the companies are aware, the creators are being aware what customers are actually buying, not stores, but the customers, the actual fans are actually buying, and some of the creators like, oh, thank you very much, awesome, this is great. And then the woke people got in. The Whisper Network stepped in and said, did you know that's a hashtag used by Nazis and white supremacists? And suddenly it became it spread far and wide within the creators, and they said, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't support this anymore. Thank you for buying my book, but I can't support anything that uses #MoveTheNeedle anymore. They came out with public apologies. They said, we were unaware that the #MoveTheNeedle hashtag was used by white supremacist groups or something like that, or whatever it is. And then that fell flat. The political weirdos kind of destroyed that effort. And then the next step was that your boy Zach announced that he had made a deal with the comic book creator, an awesome guy, John Malin, who's one of my favorites. He's I like his attitude. Like he has the same attitude I do. Just do the work. I don't expect anything to get handed to you. You are entitled to nothing. So he's the kind of guy who went across the United States just to get a job, just for the hopes that he get into this dream job. That's the kind of attitude that he has. Excellent attitude. And he was married too, but he had to stay separate from his home in order to take on an unpaid internship just for the hopes that he can make it somewhere in comics. And your boy Zach got him on board. He got a couple other people on board to help produce this comic book called Jawbreaker's Lost Souls, which was pretty awesome. It was a defining moment, and it scared the social justice weirdos to death. That's to death. They went hard trying to take this down. They even took it. They got taken down from Kickstarter. That was when we knew that Kickstarter was political, and that they had a political czars and everything, and they wouldn't allow Jawbreaker's Lost Souls onto Kickstarter. And then he went to Indiegogo. And ever since then, Indiegogo has been the mainstay for comicsgate people, because Indiegogo did not bend the knee to the weirdos. But the thing is, before that, he made a deal with Antarctic Press, and this is the thing that really scared them. This is the first movement that really scared them. This is where you got the whole your boy Zach, Mark Waid situation that only recently ended, maybe last year, where he was contracted to go with a place called Antarctic Press that would publish his book and get it into stores. Because that was his dream. His dream was to get his comic book on shelves. And then the SJWs obviously swarmed, and Antarctic Press was warned about this. But they swarmed. Gail Simone rallied up her harpies, and Mark Waid rallied up his orcs and weirdos and grotesqueries. And they all kind of raged. And it got so bad. They didn't know how evil these people were, downright heartless, evil individuals. The people who owned Antarctic Press are doctors. Their day job is being a doctor, because their hobby is Antarctic Press, essentially. These weirdos would call nonstop at their doctor's office. So instead of getting patients through and everything, you would get some soy boy with a bald head and a large beard and this concern troll face. I'm going, excuse me, did you know that your company is publishing Richard Meyer, who is a white supremacist, over and over and over and over again? And then eventually what happened is that they called Richard Meyer crying because of how they couldn't handle it anymore. Because they couldn't do their jobs. They're filling up the phone lines at their doctor's office and stuff like that, and just saying they're Nazis and evil people and everything. So they dropped it. They dropped Jawbreaker's Lost Souls, and everyone did a victory lap. And then your boy Zach sued Mark Waid, and Mark Waid knew he was guilty. He knew he was guilty. So instead of going to court right away so he can prove that he was totally innocent and whatever, he dragged it out for 2 years on jurisdiction. Is it going to be held in California? Is it going to be held in New York? Is it going to be held in Texas? And only recently did it kind of venture to Texas. But in the meantime, he went on to Indiegogo, and he wasn't expecting for it to be anything too bad. He wasn't expecting for it to be what it was. I think Jawbreaker's Lost Souls did 400, 500,000. You expecting 10,000 at most, maybe. But it was such a huge phenomenon that everyone rallied around your boy Zach and supported him, and it grew up to $400,000. And then it came Cyberfrog, and then it came Red Rooster, and then came other people, into eventually Comicsgate became sort of a alternative indie publishing house, almost like a publishing movement. And that's kind of how it went. And then and it grew from there until last year, I believe Comicsgate kind of raked in around $2 million altogether across all campaigns. And so it's been growing ever since. And that's where it is right now. It's still more campaigns, more people that are actually based on merit and based on being, having the age-old idea of being good to your customers and your customers respecting you right back. The age-old idea of you respect the customer, they'll respect you back. The mutual exchange, mutual respect. Instead of what we had before, which was Marvel making fun of you and then demanding your business and feeling entitled to your business. And the most delicious thing of all, the Comicsgate really paved the way so greatly that a lot of pros that they thought they were awesome and great, they found out very quickly that they were just comic book famous when they jumped right into indie publishing themselves and started their own Kickstarter. and they came up with like the big superstars. People you would name as big superstars in the industry started their own independent comic book and could raise maybe 10, 20,000. When you're having like absolute nobodies like me or something come in there and make like 30 or 40 or pretty easily. Well, not easily, but it's possible that if you are, it was very like a wake up call, you could say, at these industry professionals were getting beaten by comicsgate creators. Even Sean Gordon Murphy, who was like the only guy in DC who could actually sell comic books anymore. He was beaten by Cecil, a guy who was not part of the mainstream industry, and who didn't doesn't have a background in comic book creation, and he outsold Sean Gordon Murphy's independent comic book. Outsold him. Just beat him because Cecil is charismatic and funny. He's charismatic and funny, and people like him. That's how it goes. And then so when people come here and say that, there's a war on diversity, they're all Nazis. It's not true at all. It's if you have a title like this in your video, you're being already off the bat disingenuous. You're already lying. This is not a war on diversity. It was a war on politics. It was a war on the entry of partisan politics into comic books, and they're justifying it by saying, these people just don't like it because they're racist or they're sexist or they're homophobic or they're Nazis.
That's because they have no arguments other than that.
That's it. That's all they have. They have no argument other than
they have insults, and that's it.
All right.
And
well,
they've been flailing ever since.
It's been beautiful. That was a lot of history. Thanks, LitDev. We have a lot of super chats to catch up on.
Yeah.
I want to get on because we've been talking about 25 minutes. And we haven't started the video yet. So let's get on with the super chats. And just before the super chat, we've started, the YouTuber Patrick Bateman just signed up to Smudboy. So thank you, Patrick Bateman. Fantastic stuff. All right, Mike Testa. Rebel Taxi wondered if the canceled Gotham High cartoon could be a thing. Well, he got his wish in the form of a comic book from and why it couldn't work. Rebel Taxi. Don't know who that is. I'm kind of curious. Well, it's a Mike Testa super chat, so usually we sort of go, what?
Yeah.
Who? Where?
I remember
it usually has decent takes on stuff.
Oh,
yeah. I remember the Gotham High animated idea, but that was back in 2009.
Oh.
That's how old that idea is.
Wow.
And nothing has happened with it. So
here's OSHA Violator. Let me guess. The vid is going to be a 10-minute butch fest about how comic book fans are racist, and the drop in sales has nothing at all to do with shit-ass writing. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. It's actually better now than it was before.
20 minutes times 3.
Yeah.
Like usually the argument is, because it addresses current social issues, these comics are way better than it was before.
I only saw the first few minutes, and it's
in some ways yes, and in other ways worse.
It's this biased take. Yeah, it's pretty much a biased take. So sadly,
it's so weird. 'Cause it's like I don't read it for social issues. I read it for escapism.
Yeah, comic books for sure. Western
characters.
Comics.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of like comic books, right?
Well, even
what happened to that?
Even with like Mouse, which is one of the more famous comic books out there, it took the world of World War II and the people trying to survive and escape that world, but it did it in a creative, almost whimsical way. So yes, it was about Jews escaping that, but they were all animals. So you could recontextualize. This is a great way of using...
they turned it into metaphor.
Yeah, using animal imagery to create a new way of looking at the war, which was still pretty brutal, but was more consumable and more acceptable. Okay, the French are what are the deer, or no, Canadians are the beavers. I can't remember. It was just really funny stuff. The Americans were the dogs. It was kind of cute. So
I'll take that.
Oh, that's funny.
It was great.
That's what YouTube were supposed to be doing, is making the metaphor. But SJWs can't comprehend complexity in any way. Which is why you see all the media that they're produced by SJWs for SJWs. They have to tell you the theme. They're like, okay, pause the movie. Hello, this is Canto Blight. There's a bunch of capitalists that sell weapons to people. War is bad. Okay, got it? Okay? All right, let's continue the movie. They can't comprehend this stuff. So if you put like a social issue in the form of metaphor, they don't understand it. They're like, oh, it's just nothing here. There's nothing there. It's not mature. But if you outright tell them, if it's so blatant, it's written so blatant, if you actually actively make a hero an activist and put him in modern day situation, then okay, I get that. I see that. I'm a genius. They can't comprehend it.
It's weird too, because they still overread their own personal views into whatever media they consume.
Basically, if it's nuanced and if it's subtle, in any level of subtlety, they can understand it, and they brush it off as something dull and uninspired.
They're always going to take that kind of shit literally without understanding any of the subtext.
Did you know that in D&D, orcs are literally black people? Like it's stuff like that.
We've actually already talked about that, and it was.
If you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually about environmentalism. And,
yeah, that's why you see a lot of trees get cut down. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 is a fine game, but whenever idiots bring up that conversation, it's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
Get the
Tyler
hell out of
Preston, thanks for the donation. NerdSync's comment from the video. Of course, NerdSync made a comment on the video. Excellent video. I sometimes tackle politics in comics, and some of my fans get annoyed because not everything is political. But as you said, political storylines in comics have always been there. It's like, that's what not everything's political means.
It's not. It's the problem is not that they've always been there. The problem is the execution.
Got a comment on this video?
Yeah, it continues.
It has always been the execution.
Yeah, the next one is another donation. It's only political when someone says it shouldn't be happening. You absolutely nailed it. Subscribed. Keep it up. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, NerdSync.
Oh my god, full of shit.
All these guys,
they're just eating it up.
They're just, oh, you're saying exactly what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, you're all the same.
The thing is, it's not really. When you say political, it's not that. Usually, things when they call political are not political. They're just human. Like being against, like saying no to prejudice, because that's one of the things they talk about. It's not political. It's not, oh, conservatives love prejudice and liberals hate prejudice. It's not that. It's just a human story. You see this all the time in Star Trek. Even, they think Star Trek is political.
Even the what if, the Elseworld of Red Sun, where Superman lands on Russia and grows up to be the leader of
lands in Russia, not on it. He doesn't completely crush Russia.
He lands on Russia.
That'd be awesome.
Whatever. He's in the general vicinity.
Semantics, jeez.
Yeah, that's Flashpoint where it destroys all of Metropolis with his rock.
Whoa. Listen, someone's got to do semantics at some point.
What I'm trying to say is
just jump in there.
Even though that changes the location where Superman lands and how he grows up, the story is still about Superman's conflict with the rest of the world. The same scenario, and Batman, how he deals with that, and Batman's a different version of himself, and Wonder Woman's a different version of herself as a result of this. So you could even argue that's not political, even though the setting is political, because we're changing the way we look at Superman's upbringing, which is not American, it's Russian. But he's still a good guy trying to be.
Wasn't he skinny in that?
Sorry? Skinny? No.
Wasn't he like super skinny in that
No.
story?
That is that Flashpoint Paradox, I think? Where he gets captured.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
He crashed in Metropolis instead, and the government took him for like experimentation or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
All right. Here's some super chats. Swedish Chef, Hail Lobster. Okay. We don't get too many Jordan Peterson references, but yeah, I guess that's one. Joe Crazy. Sup, guys? Did I miss anything? No, we haven't started. Don't worry. Kyle Rocket. Here's a donation. Goody, the devil's here. Now just to figure out whether to make someone here die laughing or scar you guys for life when a meme like I did with Maggie May. See, Kyle, was that you? That was the best meme I ever saw. It was perfect. Everything about it just made perfect sense. Okay. Zero. A war on diversity? Sign me up. Okay. Hey. Okay.
I'm doing my part. I feel like a war on diversity would be like have like recruitment like Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Would you like to know more? Just of like kids stamping on SJWs while a woman laughs manically.
Surface guarantees citizenship.
Yeah.
Would you like to know more?
Guarantees sex.
Yeah, or at least nude group shower scenes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Tall person donation, 2 donations actually. Superhero comics have always been diverse and had good stories. Look at Marvel from the 70s. From political attributes to power set to beliefs to upbringing, there was something for everyone. These idiots who corrupted the industry think physical diversity can replace all that. I don't even know what they're harping about and for. It's kind of this changing behemoth that it turns faces all the time. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. It's hard to follow.
Listen to
their own personal political agenda.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, it feels like we're dealing with people who have got like multiple personalities, because no matter what, there's always something wrong. No matter, even if you give them everything they want, there's still something wrong with what it is, and what they want in 2 weeks' time becomes the racist problem. It's just like,
we hate stereotypes, and then the next day it's like we want stereotypes.
I find
exactly. So you can't. There's no victory giving them what they want. So the only option is either to genocide them all, which I hand on heart agree with.
Well, I like to compare that to the fanboy who actually reads the stuff or plays the games or goes to the movies and says, you know what, I like this, but it doesn't have this, and this. I want to do my own story. And that's where you get fan fiction writers or creators of their own things saying, I'm going to make my own comic book. I'm going to make my own movie. And that's what I like to see, people taking a proactive approach as opposed to saying, well, this is all garbage. And if it's all garbage, then why are you bashing it without giving critical analysis? Like, why don't you give us good reasoning why it's crap, as opposed to just bashing it on Twitter and calling it a day? That's not very proactive. That's why we try to do things, at least I try to do when I criticize video games or blog posts or movies or whatever, and say, well, look at these problems. This could have been avoided. This didn't have to happen. They could have thought this through. And that's how we get better.
It's really bad and boring. Yeah, okay, how can it be done better then? I don't know, it's just bad and boring. It's like, okay, well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
It just needs more women.
So here's a side note from a tall person. Thanks for the second donation. Batman in high school can and has worked. Points at Batman Beyond. Okay, that's true. I agree. It worked very well.
But isn't that a different Batman? That's Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
Batman, but it's still the same creative doing it though.
Oh, okay, I see.
The thing is, it is a little bit different, because Batman Beyond had the ability to create its own villains, which could work in that. The idea of Batman, the original Batman in college, doesn't quite have the same thing, because you'll find that people will be trying to shove in the Joker, Harvey Dent, Penguin, and all this sort of stuff into a university thing where they'll be committing crimes, and I'm using quotation marks, at such an early age that it won't make sense moving forward. But yeah, if you're going to do it with Batman, you're going to have to make it like a different Batman, like Terry McGinnis,
right,
or something like that. It just doesn't work with the original Batman.
Even in
looking back, that's the only real way it could have worked, and it did.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great, but it didn't have to do that. It could have done another iteration, and it would have been fine. But
yeah.
Anyway,
it did what it needed to do well.
A good story.
Does the Gotham show ever do that?
Oh dear.
No.
No.
No, definitely doesn't. No.
It's its own it's its own beast, really. It's really its own weird.
It's its own mistake. So yeah.
And not to say it's all bad.
I mean, Gotham is part of the Arrowverse, like multiverse.
Really?
Now after Crisis.
Oh.
In the ending montage, they included Gotham, Titans, the Swamp Thing show that they were doing.
Oh my goodness!
A lot of those.
Yeah.
They were doing Swamp Thing. Oh my god. Whew. All right, two more. Mike Testa. Hawk, maybe lame school drama is meant for DC FFS. Okay.
Lame school drama is meant for DC. Yeah, sure, they can do what the fuck they want. It's their business. Just don't cry to me when I don't watch it.
Here's our last one from Mike Testa. This is for Mr. Devil. Yeah. Have you heard the meme, Hawkton, I'll DM you? Oh, no.
I don't think so.
No!
Mike, leave him alone, please.
Hawkton.
Save it for the meme channel. Don't
give Mike what he wants, Hawk.
Directly message him.
No.
Please.
Speaking of LitDev, I don't think he's in the watch together yet.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
guys.
I forgot about that. The reason why I'm here.
All right, folks. I don't know how long we're going to be. I don't know how long we're going to be with the video, but let's see how far we get before we drive ourselves nuts. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so enjoy. Take it easy.
We're definitely not doing the whole thing at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully we're all on board.
Even the thumbnails cringe. Plus cringe characters. I think it should be legal to pack this much cringe into one thumbnail.
Yeah.
What are you, a racist?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
Let's start this train wreck.
Like,
All right.
if he's
You
like,
said
no,
it.
not a racist, not a racist. I mean, like, they'll just call you racist anyway. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing. It doesn't change.
Yeah. So, if someone calls me
Yeah.
racist, I'm like,
How am I wrong?
yes, and next thing, what's the next insult? I don't know.
All right.
What's the next insult that isn't true?
Am I a Nazi as well? What other ism am I?
Look, I said that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy were not actually a couple, right until the special interest group got in when they started hiring shippers and fanfickers, and it was, instead of saying, "Oh, here's a story," like, no, it wasn't written that way. It's not canon. Oh, you're just homophobic. Like, okay, then I guess that's where it goes. If you have to say you're homophobic, if your only response is you're homophobic, you're racist, you're a bigot, or whatever. They have no actual argument.
Wouldn't you say, yes, I am, and it's like, haha, I've beaten you. It's like, no. What it means is
No,
I'm
you
now
haven't.
looking for your actual arguments because I'm not interested in your insult.
I sometimes like to say maybe. Like, maybe. I wouldn't know if I was.
Your
Other than cartoon
insults,
shows,
your
though.
insults are about as interesting to me as the stuff I wipe off your mum's chin. So come on, what you got?
Out of what?
Oh. Can we get on with the video, please, Hawk? That'd be nice.
What? It's not me. I'm merely just answering stuff.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Have you ever read a comic where the hero...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, his voice is way too soft.
Oh, hold on.
Read a comic with a hero in it. Yes.
Damn, already the first.
Let's go.
There's no captions on this. Great.
But an evil corporation or tyrannical government. Some might call storylines like these, or images like these ones, a subtle political statement. But others, however, can't.
Okay, so corporations has to do with business, so that's not
Punching
political.
people? Really?
Who exactly?
People fighting in wars.
Single question.
Right. Okay. For the last time, capitalism is not political.
Well, I wouldn't even say running a
Capitalism
business.
is not.
Running a
No,
business.
capitalism is not political.
Yeah, but I don't really care about the economic world the business exists in. A guy just wants to sell stuff. Like, that's not an economic model.
Yeah.
That's just a business.
When we say politics, we say, hey, get your politics out of comic books, which is kind of what comicsgate was kind of built on. It's not the presence of politics or something. It's the biased ideas that are in there. Like, capitalism is evil. Instead of the villain being just like a Lex Luthor type who's just an evil businessman who is just corrupt, who anyone could get behind someone taking down a corrupt guy. Suddenly he goes from being a corrupt guy, a corrupt villain who corrupts society and everything, to a representation of capitalism, and that's where it goes wrong. That's where it becomes political. Where it says capitalism is evil, and everyone who likes capitalism is also evil. Buy my comic book.
Evil. Yeah. It's not even like he's doing anything evil. It's just the fact that he's making money is the evil thing.
What it
And you're
boils down
like-
to is the lack of honesty in the writing.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because it makes the villain seem reasonable, which is, I know
Well,
that's not their intent.
Yeah, but the problem is, you know when things get too political is when you start rooting for the villain over the good guy, because the only thing the villain's doing bad is not being a far left communist.
Yeah. This is where we are
Seriously.
now.
That's literally it. That's like, that's how you're a villain because you're not a communist. And you're like, okay, that's not how you class who's a villain and who's a hero.
Okay. Cool.
But it's like, no, they keep doing it, and you're like, right, okay.
All right, I'll be the villain then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this is odd start, but let's keep going.
or choose not to see any politics here. These are just colorful images of adventures unconnected to the world of politics. And if they start to see politics, that must be the product of some kind of sinister agenda to push the creators' beliefs onto people. Yes. The only politics in their mind that should be in comics are...
The reason why you don't have to see politics in there because it's not political.
Oh, fucking look at that caption. Look at that fucking caption.
It's not political. It's
where?
A force of society.
On the left?
What? To be fair, Lex Luthor would still be a better president than the current one. I'm like, wow.
Oh, is he talking about Trump? Not Biden?
Yeah, because Trump plus 19. Yeah. So
it's not
so
political.
again. So he's not just put his own politics into this, and it's like
that's funny.
It's not political though. Like what side is Lex Luthor on? Like what's the politics of Lex Luthor? I don't know. He's just a guy who wants power. He wants a guy to have power over Superman. Basically, this is a good character moment because Lex Luthor, like Superman is supposed to be truth. Well, he used to be truth, justice in the American way until the cringy writers said, he can't be American because America is evil. But he's usually supposed to be an American superhero. He is the first American superhero, and he was founded in America. So truth, justice, the American way, and he's supposed to defend the American way of life. To have his arch enemy Lex Luthor become the president and effectively the leader of America, it's a powerful character moment. It's not political. It's just like an idea. I could see it in the pitching room. Say, okay, what if we had Superman's arch enemy become the president of the United States? What kind of conflict? It's about a conflict. It's about character moments. It's not about politics. People see this as political because they're obsessed with politics. But you can read. This is why you can read stories like this and choose to not see politics because it's not about politics. It's about the situation, the conflict, the drama, the tragedy of the character who defends America, having to withstand the idea that his arch enemy, Lex Luthor, one of the most corrupt and devious men is now the president of the United States, which probably is like a good thing in that position. It's probably not too out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, he's probably got less power as president than what he would have as a billionaire businessman.
Probably, yeah.
Are bland, centrist, mainstream opinions. Nothing that could be considered objectionable.
Wait a second. Why do we need to have only centrist opinions, or at least that's the opinion of this fellow of others who don't see comics as political? Why?
You have to. You can have any perspective you want as a creator or writer. Is that you have to write the story honestly, give everyone a fair chance, make it feel real. Verisimilitude, make it believable. If you have if you have a story where your superhero is fighting conservatives and all the Republicans are this outrageous racist bigots and everything, like every single one of them, then it's not believable because that's not what happens in real life. There are few extremists, sure, but not every single person is evil just because they sided with a certain political side. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm just laughing that the default is either centrist or anarchist or something that's like apolitical. It's like you must have centrist beliefs if you don't see political stripes. It's like, or we just don't care.
You don't have to. You don't have to make it centrist. You can make it anything you want. Just make sure you respect the legacy of Superman, respect the legacy of the characters and the history, and write an honest story. Make it believable.
Mm-hmm. All right, here is Raj H just gave me a 1-up. Thank you, sir. And $2 as well. And Tyler Preston. Let me just say this. Which story is going to be more memorable? Lex Luthor, Superman's arch enemy, becoming the president of the United States, or that one time MODOK was modeled after Donald Trump?
Well, that one where modeled after Donald Trump.
No, they did not. Really?
They did. However, to be fair, it was hilarious. They also did the same thing with Jordan Peterson. Like the same thing Ta-Nehisi Coates did with Jordan Peterson. They did that to Trump. So they basically just took a Trump speech and put it in the mouth of Red Skull. All subtle like. That was the point where everyone was like, Red Skull's kind of reasonable.
Yeah,
sure.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is retarded. Like, why? Do they not see how stupid it is?
No, because
that's not.
We're dealing with morons.
So it's pretty much.
All right, let's go.
Or outside the norm, or at least the norm as they see it. This crowd of complainers, which spawned movements such as Gamergate, typically parade the mantra of having politics shoved down their throat, and politics in their mind, often includes diverse characters and the hiring of diverse creators, all to push a sinister progressive agenda. If the complaint is that the stories are bad, why?
Which it is. That's literally the only reason why they do this, is to push the progressive agenda. It's not because they think they're making good stories. It's literally propaganda.
Yeah, this is why we
because
have
if they were good stories, we wouldn't be in this.
Yeah, nobody would
argument.
care.
I think he has Bleeding Fool, which is actually a pretty good force it's supportive of comicsgate. And they have like an actual good commentary there. That's where it began. People are just saying, we're tired of all this Trump bashing, social justice pushing. People who don't like Trump read all this Trump bashing. Like, you know what? I'm tired of politics. I don't read comic books for this stuff. I read it for nice, cool stories. Yeah. And you got two randos who I have no idea who they are. And comicsgate must all be against they all must be anti-women and anti-whatever this is. And that's it. So, I mean, if you got a quote from like EVS or something like that, then it would make more sense. Or your boy Zach, who was here from the very beginning, but he doesn't have that.
They never do that. So that would
they want to cherry pick.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Then it's gonna be funny because obviously these two statements he has here are probably our jokes. I mean, this seem like overblown jokes. I mean, come on.
Well, if the guy's name is Boko no Vico, I mean, we already know where his mind is at.
Christ.
And we don't know the likes and shares of these. Like, we don't know how big are these guys. We have no idea. So,
no, he has to hide that too, so his argument seems more reasonable.
Yeah.
We got tens of millions of likes.
Never ever bring up bloody Twitter as like two Twitter posts as like evidence.
Twitter, a cesspool of bullshit. Like that's not an argument.
Yeah.
Here is big.
I want real data, not this shit.
Here's a donation from Big Titty Committee. A great name there. These retards don't understand that comics being political is not the effing issue. I think it was a communist who argued that heavy-handed communist overtones leads to weaker art. For once, I agree with them. Yeah, if you want to tell a story and you want to, insert some idea of yours that you don't think fits, you got to be subtle about it. You got to sort of work it in there as part of the story, not just bashing us over the head with it. It goes with anything, any topic. You don't go up on a soapbox like Ayn Rand did with John Galt, as much as the message of individual freedom and liberty as she had with the John Galt speech in her Atlas Shrugged book. It was not only obvious that it was Ayn Rand having a writer on board moment, but it went on for 2 chapters. It was a huge hunk of the book. And she was bashing communism. And I'm like, okay, I get what she's saying, but would you shut up for like a minute and get back to the story? I want to see what happens. What's happening with everyone else in the room?
Stop lecturing us and move on with the story.
Yeah,
I even agree with you. It's even annoying. Okay, like it's lecturing is just annoying. That's why people tell stories. Like I don't go to read the fiction section to get another lecture that I can get in college. Okay, this lectures and stories are different for a reason, and we go to stories because those things that we want some sort of entertainment. We want some level of entertainment that cleverly weaves in a theme, as opposed to going to lecture that's just all about here's how this happened, here's this history of whatever. It doesn't tell us a story really. It tells us a list of facts.
Right. And if they wanted to tell a story about inclusion or whatever, that's great. Just do it in a way that makes sense and respects the characters of what you're trying to present, and not in a blatant, everyone who doesn't agree with me is evil and disgusting and I'm beautiful and diverse and what. It's like, no, don't make it some fantastical world that doesn't relate. Give us something that works, have it make sense, and weave it in as part of the plot so that you're not just focusing on this dumb little idea. You're focusing on the characters and their desire to do something outside of having a black man in a story or I don't know, having some bisexual fellow whine about their lifestyle choices or something. It's like, what is going on? This is not why we're here. We want to escape, not listen to other people's problems.
You know, people's sexualities are literally the most boring thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, essentially.
I honestly, there's very little to talk about in regards to sexualities. So yeah, stop talking about it. It's not that great. Yeah, people's skin color also not that interesting. So yeah, stop talking about it. And just like that, I've now destroyed 98% of all SJW talking points.
Funny because I know this was made 2 years ago, but now we have a special segment of entertainment in CG, CG crowd called the Women of CG, and that's Mandy Summers, Charlie's London, and a few other women. And they have a show, I believe, like every week or so. So there's a lot of women in CG, a lot of prominent women too in CG. And in BVS and John Malin, they've gone on the shows, they've talked about them, talked with them. I've had Charlie's London on my morning show. It's been pretty fun. I've been on Mandy Summers' show. There's no problems here. It's all one big family normally, until there's like a fracture. But there's been several fractures in CG, but the one CG as it is now, it's just it's a network of people who help each other. Regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of sexuality, regardless of politics, it's every. Okay, so I had Graham Nolan on my stream one time, and he said something very, very powerful that I found very profound and very true to the essence of all of this, the essence of comicsgate, which was once the essence of the comic book industry. Graham Nolan is the guy. He's a Batman writer, very good artist. He co-created the character Bane from Batman, the one in the story where he gets his back broken and everything. And he said something about
Nightfall.
And he said something that I took with me, and it's kept with me. And the idea was that in the industry, it used to be an industry filled with Republicans and libertarians and everyone from all kinds of political backgrounds, but they're united by one aspect, and that was to make good comic books. It's not like that anymore, but it used to be that way. But that's what comicsgate is like now. There's so many people from different backgrounds of life, different politics, different genders and sexualities in comicsgate, but they're all united by one thing: the production of good stories and good comics.
Yeah,
that's great. That's how it should be, and I missed that.
Yeah.
All right, here is Turmoil. Thanks for the super chat. The fact that the fact that caption is there, or rather is not there, and how low his voice is, we already know this guy is a pretentious knut. All these guys have really soft voices.
You mean cunt?
Well, yeah, obviously, but I'm just saying.
No. Canute, an ancient English king who tried to stop the tide.
Oh.
Okay.
Thanks, Hawk.
Cool.
What? He obviously meant bad. He wouldn't say cunt. This is a family stream. We can't use words like that here.
All right.
Sure, family stream.
Oh shit.
Oh, yes.
Cunt during the family stream? Damn.
Yes, you did.
Hope I don't say cunt again.
Please stop saying cunt. Anyway, you can continue, Smud. Don't let me stop you.
Okay.
Why not complain about the writing instead of the diversity?
We do.
Maybe the problem really is because some
at
people
this point it's
just
the same thing
don't
with you
like seeing
people.
diversity in their comics. Comics
Number
can be
zero,
many
that's
things,
funny.
from edgy underground political commentary to touching melodrama about the trials of.
Okay, what? Okay, if you guys don't know what Not Nana
is the greatest comic of all time, by the way.
It's a manga. It's also an anime. They adapted it. It's basically a story of two girls named Nana, and they both have different lives. It's a raw romantic comedy slice of life thing. I don't think there's one political message in there. One of them's a rocker chick who has a boyfriend. The boyfriend leaves her to go to another band in Tokyo, and she stays with her own band. And the other girl has problems with relationships because she's always falling in love very easily. So they end up living together in some weird way in the same apartment. They share an apartment, and it's all it is. That's it. That's the story. They're growing up.
Maybe that's why it's bad, because it doesn't have politics.
Well, I want to know how he thinks it has politics. There's nothing. It's just a bunch of girls going through their life. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to bring some context to that because you just threw this in there like, what the hell?
But Smud,
it's so
women are political. So that would easily explain why none of them talk to him.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, we can't have flaws or real relatability. Can't have that.
Yeah, real Knut. Yeah.
A lot of people just watch it for the music. Honestly, they don't care about the stories. They like the musical. Going to a club and listening to music. They like this aspect, but through an anime instead. So there's lots of reasons to watch the show, but it's not political.
The musical melodies.
Yeah, it's odd. There's a big love of musical or rock band style anime shows out there that just, I don't know. It's its own subgenre of. I don't even know what the parent genre would be. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But it's like they create bands off of needing a show that tells the story of a band that's fictional. So to animate it, they got to get a real band. So they make the band, they get the people together. It's a clever way of like telling a story and with music. So I think it's neat. It's not my bag, but the fact that he brought this up, and why it's the greatest comic of all time, I don't. That's their cup of tea. Whatever. Let's keep going.
Growing up in a man's world. For the purposes of this video, though, we're going to be looking exclusively at the genre synonymous with comic books, and that's superheroes. That all started with Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman. In the coming decades, he would be followed by Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain America, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and some other characters.
Actually, question, wasn't Batman before Superman?
Superman came before Batman. In fact,
right.
the creators said, "Hey, okay, we have Superman already. We need another one." And they went the opposite direction.
Wasn't it the Phantom that came out, and then I'm trying to remember.
Something like that, right?
Phantom was a
Phantom was radio. Yeah, pulp character.
The pulp character. The superhero genre evolved from the pulp genre.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, here is the here's Otaku Sage. Hey, Otaku Sage, how's it going? Nana is good, but not that good. Yeah, exactly. It's a good show, but it's not like stellar or anything profound. It's just a story about a girls and they go through life. That's about it. Taker 610.
It's just there.
It's fine. It's not bad. It's just a story. It's nothing special. This guy is the epitome of what Mahler calls video essay voice.
Oh yeah. Then you say soft and fast, and maybe this is a guy's one of his early videos. That could be possibly because I did the same thing. I talked like this during my first. You're not used to the mic yet.
Oh, okay.
But if some people do it on purpose, and that is true. Like soft and fragile for maximum emotional resonance.
Soft and fragile.
I'm such a sweet teddy bear.
Yeah, that's
sound like
shit.
David Attenborough talking over an elephant taking a massive shit.
Speaking of massive shits,
The mating season. will begin.
Here is Fart of the Shit, Fart of the Poo. This is an actual nickname on the donation.
Oh,
I wouldn't
nice.
waste time pirating these new dogshit comics. I don't think anyone was intending to do that. Christ, I've been so turned off from the Marvel sphere that lately the only thing I came around for was Punisher Max Soviet, because Garth Ennis returned briefly for it.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I gotta look that up immediately. Garth Ennis did the Punisher fantastically.
Yeah.
He can't really do he can do the Punisher phenomenally.
It's been a while.
What'd you say?
Eric. Yeah.
We only know him from, at least lately, from...
No, it's just my internet, that's why.
Oh, sorry. Well,
sorry, my bad.
We were just saying how Garth Ennis came back to the Punisher just briefly, but...
oh, okay, I see.
I think
that's cool.
We just know him like recently from the last season of Castlevania on Netflix. So
he's also the guy who made The Boys.
Yes.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean...
wait, for Amazon too, or...?
He created the comic book The Boys. I don't know how involved he is in the actual show, but he created the comic book The Boys, or one of the creators on it.
Yeah.
Superheroes.
I'm sure Amazon paid him a lot of money not to complain about what we do to the show.
Oh, definitely, probably.
Season 2, right? Because I hear season 2 went downhill.
But Garth Ennis helped with the. He created The Boys, and the comic book is awesome. I like the comic book a lot. It's that he hates superheroes, so he doesn't treat them very well in the comic book. But if you take it on its own, it's pretty funny. It's dark humor. It's really good. I really like the comic book so far. But that's why he doesn't do superheroes, like honest superheroes, very, very well. They're all bad guys and stupid, and he treats him terribly. He puts him in a horrible, horrible light.
Yeah.
But he does it in his own universe,
Mhm.
so it's fine. It's fine. He doesn't just say, "Oh, Superman's been secretly this this corporate shill this whole time" or something like that. No, he doesn't ruin legacy characters. He has stand-ins, but he it's his own universe.
Yeah.
He ruins the superheroes in his universe are just bad guys from the get-go because they're in his universe. That's how they are. But he does the Punisher very, very well, very well.
Oh yes.
Reminds me of the third season of Castlevania. Not too many people like that because of the one or several sex scenes that sort of happen at the same time to our main characters.
It's because what the Dracula had, like, he was bisexual or something like that.
He got
Is he?
he got forced into having sex. One of the main characters, who was Dracula's son, that not too many people appreciated.
Alucard, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird. Like that probably shouldn't have
Pretty
happened.
Although it's not the purview of vampires, so it's not
Well,
too terribly weird.
they took away some of his powers, like he could turn into mist, but apparently, for a sex scene that he felt the need not to turn into mist. But these things happen. What can you do? Garth Ennis, thank you very much. Anyway,
Wait, it was forced?
well, they had some magic binding on his wrist, so it was like S&M shit. So you're like, okay, whatever.
So, okay.
Gay sex,
It's,
yay.
it's not the R word, right?
What? I didn't see it as a big deal. We're talking about a guy they're not going to kill off because he's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. So they wouldn't kill off the main character.
And he's one of
Alucard,
the
for
let alone one of the most popular characters in the whole damn franchise.
yeah, they wouldn't just kill him off. So I just didn't like the fact that he couldn't transform into a wolf and bite those guys' legs off. But it's fine. He got out other ways. He's a clever boy. Clever boy. Okay, let's keep going.
Characters you may have heard of, and probably way, way more you haven't. You may have noticed one thing most of these characters have in common. The majority of them are men, and
Okay, there's Wonder Woman right in the front.
What? Oh my god, what the?
You know why? Like, yeah, even though that's true, the majority of them are men. There's a reason why. Selling to boys and men. the predominant audience for superhero comic books are boys and men, because men usually like stories that revolve around fighting rivals and conquering them, accumulating resources, protecting. Like, protection is actually something that an element of a story that men are drawn to, not so much women. Like, all the superheroes is kind of crafted from the things that men like to see in stories. That's why the predominant audience for superhero comics are men. Every single person is every single person a man who likes superhero comics? Absolutely not. But the general audience tends to be men superhero comics,
which is perfectly acceptable. That's fine.
And-
Yeah, what
by the way-
do women like?
It's not due to representation. It's not due to the boys only buy boys comic books. It's not true, because you have female superheroes that are very popular with men and boys. It's the fact that a lot of people and creators who came into comic books very early on, they're mostly all men. Like, it's a male-dominated genre in both audience members and creators. So they just write stories about what they know. Write what you know. So the creators are usually tend to be white men or come from the background of something similar, until they got to something crazy like the Martian Manhunter or some alien that they kind of wanted to have, like some monster like Beast or something like that. That's how it went down. It's usually started off with, I'm just going to write what I know. I'm going to write my own experiences, and I'm going to put them into this story. That's what writers tend to do, like even outside the superhero genre.
Okay.
It's a bunch of white men were the writers in the beginning. Not everyone was, I don't think, but there are a lot of writers in the beginning were white men. I mean, it's just how it happened, how it occurred.
It's pretty basic stuff. Here's Francis Porter Coppola for the donation. Fun fact about
That's
Garth
bad.
Ennis: he made a Fury comic called Fury that featured Nick Fury strangling the main bad guy with his own intestines in true
Awesome.
Ennis style, and it caused George Clooney to back out of playing Fury. Really?
What was it called? It was called Fury? I didn't get this.
Wow.
George Clooney was going to be Fury.
That would have been awesome.
Hey,
But,
do you know something? Actually, do you know something? I'm kind of glad that that happened now, because then we got Samuel L. Jackson.
Well,
So
Samuel L. Jackson is indeed awesome, but I would have loved to have seen that
You guys
setup.
remember the
Well, to
David
be fair-
Hasselhoff
to be-
Nick Fury?
Well, to be fair,
whoa, Spud.
well, to be fair, Samuel L. Jackson played a version of Nick Fury that was based on him Anyway, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but also, whenever someone goes, "Oh, I'd like to see George Clooney as something," I always have to remind people that before 1997, people said George Clooney might do a good Batman. So I always
honestly,
have to.
he could still be a good Batman. The problem was the script was absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
I mean, I don't know if that's fair.
I'm just saying.
Go watch Oh Brother Where Art Thou
Anyway,
and feel better about yourself.
Oh yeah, that's a good
People
right.
said
Mark Hamill, or not Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger would be a bad joke.
I thought you said Mark Hamill then for some reason. I don't know why. I was thinking, who the fuck's Mark Hamill? Yeah, who the fuck's Mark Hamill? I was like, I don't know who this is.
Well, just get a good musical with George Clooney. It's always a good time.
He's Mark
so.
Hamill's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
George Clooney is an alright actor.
Yeah.
He's fine.
he's a dapper Dan man. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm. Three women committed suicide when they got married.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, 3 women committed suicide when he got married. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I just bought the Garth Ennis Fury comics. Could be awesome.
Yeah.
Have you? I love
just
how
bought
I
it?
just mentioned
Nice.
suicide and Lit Dev comes like, I just bought some comics, by the way, guys. Just
Yeah.
Because life is too short.
I just shot up some heroin. Life is
can't
too
wait to
short.
I just shot some heroin while a hooker sniffed coke off my ass, and Lit Dev's like, I just bought 2 comic books, by the way, guys.
I can't wait to see Nick Fury strangling the guy with his own intestines. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
It is pretty good. Anyway.
Most of them are white. From the 1930s to the 1960s,
No, not
New York
always
was a very
white.
white place.
Oh,
and
no.
superhero
White.
comics were typically
Taboo
read by
word.
young boys.
It's as if the actual population of the majority of people in the world are white.
What's wrong with young?
Kind of like it feels like he's demonizing it. They're white and they're for boys. Like a genre that has all the stuff that boys
I don't
and men
know.
is for boys. Oh no,
Yeah, what's wrong with white boys?
nothing.
They're kids.
I just love this like anger that the Western world is a majority white. Like, not everywhere can be fucking Uganda. It's like
Also, the thing is, they try to
Well,
do
then
everything.
there's half white,
There's
so
so
it's
many-
like, how do you
there's so many
know?
white people in this white country. Why
You
can't they
test
just
the blood?
somewhere else?
They try to do representation, and they add in Hispanics, but all the Hispanics they have are like these progressive liberal types. And like, have you met actual Hispanics?
Yeah.
Hispanic people are, I know for a
Yeah.
fact, are there's a lot of they're traditional people and very conservative, culturally conservative. So
Yes.
when I
We
see
are.
like
Yeah.
I'll let you know, Marvel, that when you have like this ultra liberal progressive Hispanic in there, I do not feel culturally represented. Okay, nobody does. Only your friends and like your personal friends around the workplace in the elitist portion of California or whatever feel represented. Not the majority of Hispanics.
Yeah.
Okay, this doesn't sell very
Yeah.
well. We don't feel
No, they're just laughing
culturally
their
represented.
asses off.
Don't feel culturally represented. It's not working. Okay, try
I
something.
can confirm that.
It's what always gets me is these people are like, but there's too many white people in these white countries. It's like, if only they weren't here in these white countries, I'm like, yeah, but if you move into another country, that country will become majority white because you'd moved all the white people there. So
Well,
stop complaining
if-
about
if
where
we
we
have
are.
a
They just want to
census-
kill all white people. That's the
So
goal.
that's literally it. I didn't really want to say that on stream, but
if we're talking about making a product for a demographic, and you know your demographic are of a certain ethnicity, what's wrong with that? I
Yeah.
still don't see the problem, and this just proves
it's
it.
it's like complaining about the fact that in Muslim countries they make hijabs
Well,
for Muslim people.
is
It's
this
like,
guy
well,
a
you
white?
can-
Is this guy white or black or like yellow? Like what is this guy? Like what is he complaining about?
Well, he's
racially?
Jose, so
Jose?
he might be,
Bonjour, Jose.
yeah.
I mean, he's
He's
complaining
not-
about
that's not-
kids.
That's
Like,
not a
what?
French
Oh, kids
name.
are reading
Jose
a
is not
comic
a
book.
French name. I'm so angry about this. It's not a French name, Smud.
Anyway, I love this stats. It's like, look at all the white people. It's like, yes, that's why it works. That's why it sells or has been selling.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
How are you
No,
going to fight
it's like-
numbers?
Right, it's like when people like in the UK, people in the UK seem to think that there was tons of immigration. There wasn't. It's after the Second World War where there was like the start of proper immigration in the UK with like the Windrush generation. Like most towns and villages in the UK didn't see their first black person until like 1955. So this whole bullshit that there was, there should be more inclusive back in the day. It's like, no, it wasn't like that. Most of these countries were like 99% white, and the foreigners were usually white Europeans.
Right, and the mentality
of
Stan Lee in the 70s was, why aren't there any black characters? I know black artists, I know black writers. Why can't I have a black character in my comic? And that's exactly what he did. And that's fine. No one cared. We're like, yeah, great, it's a cool story. What's wrong with
Panther?
him?
Cool.
Black Panther was one.
In Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther's
Cage,
case.
Blade.
Yeah, in their case, it wasn't a fact of another black superheroes. Hey, no, it was just more good superheroes.
Yeah.
It happened to be.
Oh, this guy's a Panther. This is awesome.
I mean, well, then again, Black Panther had its own controversies with the Black Panther political party, was it?
Yeah.
Or something.
He had to change the name.
Those were completely yeah. Yeah.
So he had to change the name and then bring it back and all this other crap. Yeah. Fun times. Anyway, let's keep going.
And superhero comics were typically read by young boys. Publishers knew that these young boys enjoyed reading characters that look like them. Publishers also like money.
What?
So that's who they sold their books to. So this wasn't exactly...
Okay, prove that. Because Stan Lee was like... I think he said this at least twice I know of, where he kind of mentioned that the reason why he gave Spider-Man a mask is because anyone from any background could imagine themselves as Spider-Man. That's what the mask did. So it's not really that, they have to look like Peter Parker. And there's so many people who don't look like Peter Parker. It's just the fact, okay? Not everyone who likes Peter Parker is a skinny nerd. Not everyone, okay? Not everybody. Sorry.
Absolutely, yes.
Most people,
I'm not into redheads, so hey ho, I can't be like Peter Parker. So
yeah,
exactly.
It's like I'm not white. I like all these white characters.
Also,
they don't need to look like me.
I also don't have radioactive spider powers. I just kind of
go on a limb here and say that Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger has a huge fan base, especially in men.
Mm-hmm.
But I highly doubt even most of those men look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nope.
Highly doubt.
No. And if they did,
or like
I'd
Jackie
feel very
Chan.
sorry for that person.
Jackie Chan has a large fan base in America. Like if you see, especially Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan's movies in America are really, really different than his movies in China. Movies in China are like these awesome epic dramas, where over here in America, he's basically a comedian. He's a comedic actor. But he has a huge fan base here in America. I don't think all the people who like Jackie Chan are of Chinese descent. Okay, we don't need to have.
No.
But the only thing that we need to have in a hero is him being noble and have some morality and fight bad guys, conquer the bad guys. That's what we need in a hero. We don't need him to look like us. That's from this new style of thinking. We need characters to look like us. No, it's not exactly true.
This narcissistic style of thinking.
Remember how nobody likes the Avatar: Last Airbender in America? Remember how that's a thing? Nobody likes Avatar: Last Airbender because Aang is the Asian, and then Sokka and Katara are what they call Inuit or something. They're like the
Eskimos.
They're indigenous people.
What they're called. They're Eskimos.
Yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender is a legendary series in America, and I'm pretty sure that most of the people who like Avatar: Last Airbender don't like it because the characters look like them. So this is nonsense thinking. It's absolute nonsense. Like, prove to me that's the case. Prove to me that's the case, because as far as I've heard from Stan Lee and a bunch of other people, and from actual sales and the fans who actually like these characters, no. I mean, there's a lot of Americans who like Wolverine, and the Wolverine is Canadian. It doesn't necessarily representing or anything.
Yeah, I forget he's Canadian.
That's always been the case. Yeah.
That's because no one cares about that kind of crap. They just
Yeah.
want to see, oh, he kills people. Yay. That's awesome.
Does anyone like V for V for Vendetta? He's
I
from America.
really do like V.
I like V from V for Vendetta. I find this a very interesting story, but he's British.
Mhm.
I am not British, so therefore I shouldn't be able to like him. I don't even know what he looks like. He's a guy in a mask. I don't know what he looks like, so I don't
Yeah.
care what he looks like. I don't.
Yeah,
actually
I'm
care.
not a green monster that can perform 100 feet jumps.
Exactly.
Are any of you? Does that mean we can't relate to him anymore?
Every day.
Okay.
No, I can't. No,
Maybe bears.
I'm not Canadian. I can't relate to Wolverine. So it just
No.
He's
Well,
a,
He smokes cigars.
he's a short, hairy man that lives very long time and smokes cigars. It's true. Yeah.
So I can relate to like 95% of them. I'm just not sure, and I'm not Canadian.
All right, here's Francis Ford Coppola. Oh boy, bet this is one of those Latinos that can't hang drywall. His brothers probably all like, oh god, ya, mi hermano idiota se pasa todo el tiempo y lo cuando sobre los gringos y los cómics. Don't ask.
I see.
Don't repeat.
Yo entiendo.
Gracias.
Thank you,
Remember,
Francis.
Nobody in America. Remember how manga and anime are just failing in America right now? You know how that's the case. That's totally the case because those manga and anime they don't look like us. So why would we buy them? Like the fact that manga and anime are just dominating in the West is like this obliterating this whole thing where we need the heroes to look like us. Nobody looks like anime characters.
Yeah. You could argue
but
some artists try to make them look like Asian or Japanese people, but it's really it's its own thing at this point. There's nothing else like it.
The major problem is they're making these new characters look like themselves, and the people are utterly fucking repugnant and repulsive, and it's like what was it that I am not Starfire or something? Like, look at her. How many people? You only see those sort of people at fucking BLM rallies, and you're like,
So this is actual stand-in. Blatant stand-in. It looked the Starfire's totally her daughter. It's exactly a stand-in for the author, and it's so cringe.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're getting tons of that, and it's a bit like this whole representation is just literally narcissists inserting themselves into these comics. And I'm not really sorry to say this because I don't really care about their feelings, but you know, if you're really fucking ugly and you look like the fucking missing link, don't draw yourself in a comic because no one actually wants to look at it. We have to put up with you in real life.
Absolutely.
We don't want,
I would never draw myself. I want to draw a beautiful man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just this really weird thing.
Like, either accept it or get help. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I'm just a bit like this is the problem. Never insert yourself in a fucking story about your creating, because it just comes across cringy, comes across narcissistic, and it never ever goes well. So
yeah.
All right, we have two more, and we can get going. Here's Mike Testa. Could you accept me on Discord LitDev? Thanks. Oh, God. Oh dear.
LitDev, I'll give you some advice. Just say no.
Say nay.
All right. Otaku Sage. Most characters I've looked up to are Japanese FFS. Okay.
Nice.
Lots of great
I
Japanese
don't really
stories.
I don't look up to many characters because they're usually on a page and I'm looking down.
That's why representation is a scam. It really is. The only thing it reads to me why if you need representation is absolute narcissism. Like you can only empathize with people who look like you. You can only connect with people who look like you. That is this kind of a scary
mentality. Could you imagine having that practice in reality? Like, I'm sorry, I can't be friends with you. You don't look like me.
Scary mentality.
Yeah, but they're called SJWs. What are you trying to do?
That's weird, though. I just clown world, crazy.
All right. We're only at 2 minutes and a 1/3 in, so 1/4 in, rather. So.
Yeah, I know. It's almost midnight where I am as well.
All right. See how far we can get.
A nefarious
It's not like you're doing
but
anything.
rather the blind prejudice of capitalism that gave us all these white guy characters.
The blind prejudice of capital.
Use of capitalism.
Okay.
Okay, Mr.
That makes sense, I guess.
Okay, Mr. Communist.
Well, I think we're
So,
done, right? We know all the arguments now, right?
Yeah. So, what, 2 minutes in? Yeah, I think. Anyway, thanks for this Smudcast. See you tomorrow when we actually pick a good video. Any stream memes?
We pick a good video.
This is unexpected, but wow, he just went straight for.
This is unexpected. Did you not expect anything to do with comicsgate to like descend into some sort of communist propaganda? So, how long have you been doing these for?
Well, I was hoping arguments regarding the comic books, not or the people on Twitter or whatever, not a bunch of capitalists from 100 years ago wanted to make comic books. They don't understand like their audience. It's like, actually, no, they do understand their audience. That's how they existed
Because
as a business.
they make how they make a lot of money.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with capitalism or any economic model.
No.
Yeah.
They
Race
just
the freedom of the gulag.
They just got a printing press and they printed stuff and people bought it, and that's that. There's no.
Yeah.
There's no.
They just really had fun with those stories, yeah.
Yeah, they enjoyed the thing
it's so
they
cool.
liked, and they wanted to share that with others, and that's that.
I think it's really interesting because EVS looked at an old interview of, I think it was Jeff Johns, and he was talking about Green Lantern. He's talking about Green Lantern, I think, and there's been several Green Lanterns. Most of the main ones have been white. There's one who's really awesome, John Stewart, who was black, but most of them have been white. Like the first one was white, then how everything, but they kind of panned to the room and he took questions, and no one was asking about what about a racial Green Lantern who's like this color, that color. What about no one's talking about sexuality or race. They're asking them questions about plot and character and story and drama and tragedy and the powers, how the powers work and all that stuff. And they panned over, and there were women, there were white guys, there were women, there were white women, there were black guys, there were white guys, there were Asian guys. There was a whole diverse cast of fans in there, all there to see Jeff Johns and Green Lantern, not because of their skin color, not because they were diverse, not because of their sexuality, because they liked that character. They liked the concept, they liked the world, they liked the fact that he was noble and a hero, and they liked him a lot. And that's why they were there. They were there for his heroics, not for some arbitrary trait that he had because he was some sort of sexuality, some sort of skin color. That's not what they were there for. And it's totally possible, all the way back then, to be a person who is not white admire a white character, or someone who's white who could admire someone who's not white. It's totally possible. You don't need to have people who look like us.
It is possible.
Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Some people can be so entitled that they get mad when you don't like their characters. When Grant Morrison made Damian Wayne, people didn't like Damian. Grant had to put actual work into developing Damian, and now he's liked. Damian had to earn it. Yeah, see how that works? You have to actually struggle as a persona. You're the facade we put on in the morning. These ideas called characters in a story have to go through some trials and tribulations before we go, oh, I can respect this guy. He is a character in a story. He's not just given blood by Batman and therefore he's great. Or trained under Ra's al Ghul and he's a 9-year-old ninja who could just take on anyone? You're like, oh, okay, that's not very believable.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Damian Wayne is like the sort of kid you'd put into a sack and then chuck into a river. I was
gonna ask, didn't Jason Todd also go through something like that?
Yeah, then he died, and then he came back and became better. So he had character growth. He got voted to death as well. That was interesting.
That's funny, yeah.
Anyway, let's try and hopefully not listen to any more economic ideas.
No, we're going to.
And if minorities were included, we'd get things like this. While many characters were forgotten, thankfully,
what's wrong with that?
in some cases, A few persisted. As the US became more diverse,
Okay, so population of races other than white or black by race.
Okay.
Didn't we just see the previous chart have like 260 or 270 million white by year 2000?
Yes.
I mean, that's great, but why would, like, you can write comic books specifically targeting these demographics, and that's fine, but don't start complaining when you don't make any sales.
Okay, so what's this? In the US, is it these races? Yeah. So if you want to sell to black people, sell to Africa. There's tons of black people in Africa.
The people think about America is you amalgamate. You actually have, it's different than Canada. You have to adapt to your environment, and you sort of learn the lingo, the slang, how people talk and communicate. It's a whole process. Whereas in Canada, you could actually live in certain districts where you don't even have to learn English. You could just move to Canada and get along with the community there. And there are supermarkets that are catering specifically to your tastes and your cuisine, and you could live your entire life like that. And I've met some Italians like that. I've met some Portuguese. I've met some Chinese. There's a variety of burbs or regions of the city, even downtown, that are strictly one culture, and you can live there. So it's different. I'm sure this is also in other metropolises as well. So it's just very, not just Toronto, but Montreal, Vancouver, parts of Alberta. Like this is a thing in Canada. So we're not as gung-ho as the Americans are in getting things done and integrating and being American, as they say, because it's a whole process to get your citizenship.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So.
But my point is don't complain that a white country isn't filled more black than it is white, because it wouldn't be a white country.
It's a strange tick. I would never argue that, we should produce Western comics for Japan. And they'd look at us go like, I don't know. You could try, but...
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like that they're saying that, there's only this many black people in America. It's like, yeah, if you want more black people, go to where black people are. And it's like, no, because it's like, yeah, you know that your shit wouldn't sell there. Because they would never allow it.
If the idea...
So you have to try and force it onto us.
Yeah, if your research says, we can only sell, or this product will only work for people of African American descent or African descent, it's like, that's weird, then it's not a very good product if you're talking about media, because media should be universal, and so long as you could understand the concepts of whatever the message of the story is, it shouldn't matter what race you are. The same with, we watch Miyazaki films, and I don't get half of the Japanese references and symbolisms and mythos. I don't know that. I just don't know. There's just so much. The pantheon of Japanese gods and mythos is gigantic. I don't even think Japanese people know that much. So when you see all these magical little creatures running around and surrounded by other magical creatures, you're like, that's weird. But I can follow along the story because the plot makes sense. I know what the characters are trying to do. So this is why we want good stories, not because they're... Actually, I would encourage to have more mythos that I don't understand, because that's interesting to me. I'd like to appreciate other cultures, and if I can do that through entertainment, great. I could have fun while doing so. So there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not everyone. So not everyone's going to like watching anime. Not everyone's going to like watching Batman cartoons, for example. So
for now.
Wait till they get a load of me. Okay, here's Mike Testa.
That was a perfectly timed reference, Mod. I'm tipping my hat to that one.
Oh yeah. You have to do it in that kind of voice, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, who was speaking? Was that LD or was that Smud?
That was me. Anyway.
That was Smud then.
Mike Testa. They already do that. It's called the UK and Europe. Yes. Thank you, Mike.
Well, I mean, who cares about the UK and Europe, honestly?
Aside from
Oh,
I do.
shit.
I do. I happen to live there, Bears. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing over there?
come to America.
I thought you were my friend, or at least an acquaintance.
Nigga, you thought.
We make Guinness in Montreal now, so we can get our cans next door.
This is a family stream?
When?
Yes. It's not for kids,
Yeah,
but it's family stream. It's not for kids.
Well, no. It's a family stream. It's a family stream. Bears can say nigger. You just can't say cunt.
Oh, okay.
I'll say what the fuck I want.
No, it's not even cunt. It's canut. It's
Canuts, yeah.
Canut.
No,
I'm white.
Was it
That's
spelled?
offensive.
Was it spelled K-N-U-T?
Oh, that's the Polish version.
Counts.
Yeah, that's Canute.
Yeah, canut. Yeah.
All right.
I've already said the stuff.
All right. We're only 2 minutes and a half in, and we're talking about minorities. It's like, yay. Great.
Minorities and
And
capitalism.
why they should. I'm just joking.
Okay, let's go.
Publishers sought ways to pursue that expanding demographic of non-white guys, and maybe the even more elusive demographic of women.
What about the non-white women? What about the non-white transgenders? It's not just all about the non-white guys.
The
You
non-white
bigot.
guys. Non-white guys.
I like how it's American Indian and Alaska natives. It's like, oh, we gotta think of Alaska. We got all those people up there.
Does this guy know that Alaska is part of America?
Well, this is the American.
Yes.
We've kind of had that for a minute or two.
Doesn't matter.
Go, you faggot!
Oh, you're driving,
Oh,
Bears.
Bears, don't,
Cool.
no, Bears, come on. Don't give me this. Don't do this. to
I
me.
can't. Smud, teach these people how to drive, and then you won't have me road raging at them.
Oh, that's not the
What
point.
happened?
You guys fucking
Stop.
sitting
Are they
at
not
a red
using their
light.
blinkers?
This motherfucker's sitting at a red
Stop.
light, twiddling his dick. And then it turns green, still twiddling his dick, not looking up, just looking at his tiny little thumb dick, twiddling it instead of fucking going. This is why it takes you 2 hours to drive 15 miles in this fucking city. I hate it. Anyway, back to comics.
Yeah.
So maybe it's your fault.
No. I did not choose to be born here.
But you chose to stay. Anyway, Eric leaves through the window or something.
All right. Hopefully, no one gets into an accident now. Let's just keep going.
To that end, an increasingly broad range of diverse characters were and are still being created. Of course, the earliest attempts were not always the most thoughtful. Luke Cage was the product of the blaxploitation craze of the 70s,
So?
and Shang-Chi
Fuck yourself.
a product of
Luke
the
Cage
Kung
is
Fu
badass.
What was
Correction,
wrong
Luke
with?
Cage used to be badass. Luke Cage used to be badass until Tallahassee Boats came along and turned him into Cliff Huxtable.
Mr. Rogers, yeah.
Oh no, he ruined him too. God damn
Yes.
it.
I like.
A show called Ta-Nehisi Coates Ruins Everything.
I like the
All my heroes
blaxploitation.
going down.
I like all the 70s
Yeah.
stuff.
Also, why is blaxploitation
Blaxploitation
bad?
was fun.
Because
That
it
was
was
a good job.
Blaxploitation is awesome. Rudy Ray Moore is one of my favorite actors. He's absolutely shitty at it, but I love him.
Yeah, but the major thing is, it's like blaxploitation was crap. It's like Jose, buddy, it was made by black
Jose?
people. It's like it was made by black people.
Motherfucker,
So what
you
you're saying
watch
is-
Petey Wheatstraw. You watch Petey Wheatstraw, Jose,
Yeah.
and tell me you don't leave that movie with a smile on your face.
Yeah, but that's not the point. He's like saying like he's now complaining that the stuff that black people made in the 70s was racist because it's overly stereotypical. It's like black people made it to represent themselves. It's
Okay,
like
Marvel,
Right, yeah, they
Marvel
go
just
against
came
it.
out. Marvel just came out and put a comic book cover of all their fucking gay characters for Pride Month and shit. And the main character, the main one, aside from like Patrick Bateman looking Iceman, the main like focal character was a guy that looks like a cross between Malcolm X and Biznude. And that's supposed to represent me. And I'm supposed to like that character and their depiction of her. I'll take Luke Cage over fucking gay Malcolm X any fucking day, please.
yeah. But you can't say
Absolutely.
the black Luke Cage is a bit Luke Cage isn't good now because of the blaxploitation. It's like black people made that. So what you're saying is black people were racist to black people then?
Watch Blackula, watch Dolomite,
Yeah,
watch
I guess.
Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah.
Watch Shaft.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But now his whole argument is like black people are now racist to black people. So everyone's racist to everybody now, and even black people can't do black
Okay, then
stuff.
that means
like,
racism
what do
doesn't
you-
exist. That means racism doesn't exist,
Yeah.
and everyone's racist to
It's-
everybody that doesn't exist.
So
Yeah.
maybe we should stop talking about it and just move
Thank you, Morgan
on.
Freeman. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep going.
Thank you, Nelson Mandela. Very cool.
Oh,
Oh, fuck Nelson Mandela. Tommy, fuck.
No, it's
Yeah.
no, it's the joke, isn't it? When Nelson Mandela died, everyone put up, God, I'm really gonna miss Nelson Mandela.
Oh, that was a joke.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him in like the Shawshank Redemption or something, and they put a picture of Morgan Freeman instead of Nelson Mandela.
Well, whoever did that is a real nutty.
I thought they all looked the same.
all right.
They're black. They all look the same, don't they?
Let's go.
Movie craze. These characters are obviously cheap stereotypes. Although I've grown over the years to be a bit more.
But not cheap. The cheap stereotypes made by black people.
We don't want stereotypes, but then we complain when it's not stereotypical.
I would
Yeah,
rather be
okay.
stereotyped as Dolomite than stereotyped as fucking faggot Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
We actually have Hispanic exploitation, and it's done by Rodriguez, like Tarantino's friend, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Machete. It's called Machete. Machete Kills.
Oh, I
It-
love,
mhm.
oh, I love
There's a lot of
Yeah,
culture.
those
there,
films
a lot
are
of-
good.
A lot of funny culture in there. I love those movies. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad, super Mexican. He loves those films because I thought I was worried for a
Your-
time that
your-
he could be offended.
Your dad's a super Mexican. Hmm.
Oh shit! How many borders can he leap in a single bound?
Super hombre.
Is he? I just keep imagining. I just keep imagining like Eric's dad now just being like friends with Speedy Gonzalez.
He's
and, like,
the
going,
bionic
"Hey,
Mexican, okay?
I'm the second fastest man.
The 6 million peso Mexican.
Speaking of Speedy, Gabriel Iglesias voices Speedy Gonzalez in Space Jam 2.
Oh, shit.
That Rodriguez's Machete.
Oh, yeah.
Rodriguez's Machete movies maybe feel more culture represented than any of the soy boy progressive Hispanics they have in Marvel these days.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for my
Yeah,
buddy Mr. Marvel over in Boston. He hates all this fucking token Latino shit. It doesn't
Exactly.
represent him at all.
Not even the
Well,
slightest.
it's like it. It's
Well,
it's like
again,
with
these
me,
are the
it's
same
like when
people who, like.
Go on.
Sorry,
Eric.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's like when people, for some reason, tell me that I should like stuff that's set in London because it's English, and I'm like, no, London, no, they don't represent anything that I believe in. They're all cunts. I don't like them. They don't look. They're not English.
Well, in regards to stereotypes, I don't see what the big issue is because sometimes we need stereotypes to understand what's going on, especially when you're talking about
Well, again,
cultural.
That was the power of Star Trek. That's part of the original Star Trek.
People like BBC, they say, "Oh, Idris Elba is not black enough."
Because he doesn't eat Caribbean food.
So now we do need stereotypes. I don't get it anymore.
Well, we're talking
Well,
about
unfortunately-
stories that from like the 60s and 70s, or let's say culturally influenced ones like the Italian mafia. No one knows what that is. No one's lived with a mafia, even Italians. They're like, what the hell? What does that look like? What does that sound like? And some Italians go, oh yeah, that reminds me of a guy I know, but it's never like, oh really, they acted and sounded like that. So when you watch a show like The Sopranos, you're like, is that Italian? That sounds like some weird knockoff of American Italian or Irish Italian, like something like that.
It's getting a prequel, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
With
Anyway,
John
unfortunately-
Bernthal, right?
Unfortunately, to go. I ran out of time, but it was fun being on here.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Smud.
No.
Oh,
Thank you, Lieutenant.
yeah.
Let Dev got to see up until Luke Cage.
Well, before you leave, like the super chat from Avard Yance is for you. It's like I think the term you were looking for is mexploitation.
That's probably fit. Yeah. All right, y'all have a good day.
Like your more nonsense shows.
Thank you, LitDev.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
LitDev.
All right. So that was great to get some history on the background of the wonderful hashtag that no one uses anymore. So,
LD's in chat.
I'm doing it out all at the start too.
yeah. All right. So I don't think we're going to go much further. We can go for a few more minutes, but this is like, we already know what it's going to be like. Oh, this is horrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, we can save it for part 2.
Oh, I don't know if we want to do a part 2.
Yeah.
We can save it for part 2. Yeah, in 2078.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be there. I don't give a fuck.
Let's go on for another 20 minutes at least, just to see what the hell he's going to say.
Just another 20.
I'd be fine doing a part 2 as well, if it comes to it.
Well,
Oh, I'm not.
No, we know you're not.
We're just gonna have Smudboy's brain in a jar, and then I'll be like 90 something, just logging on.
You want to watch another video?
On Discord. Yeah.
I mean, well, his brain,
Time travel to the future.
I mean, his brain or his whole head?
Just his brain.
No, just his brain.
The
Smudboy's brain. Bears is like a 90-year-old fusing in a car, just stuck in traffic, and I'm just like a talking British flag.
No, see, the problem is I will have still been in the same traffic from this stream.
Yeah, exactly. 400 years later, exactly the same, and you're stuck behind the exact same person, still twiddling with his dick at a green light.
Get a fucking move on! I ain't gone all day, you prick!
Let's at least let's get going.
Yeah, let's go.
That's maybe the realization is that he doesn't have one.
In recent years, the two biggest superhero comic publishers, Marvel and DC Comics, have tried to escape racial stereotypes and present as wide a lineup of diverse characters as they possibly could.
But at what cost?
I'm going to talk briefly about Black Panther. I'm assuming you've probably seen it because
that movie is dog shit.
The opening scene of Black Panther tells you a lot.
We're gonna fucking get away from black stereotypes. Meanwhile, here's a movie where a black man makes monkey noises at a white guy.
Something exciting happening.
Sorry, I couldn't hear it.
Rewind.
Oh yeah.
Which, because I think Wisp has talked. Wisp and Bears, you guys talked about this before, right? Or
I hate that movie. I hate that movie.
It's Americans, not Africa.
Yes.
There's a difference.
It's the most American. It's supposed to be Africa, but it's fucking Americanized as shit. All the American fucking politics as well.
Yeah, and then the ending is what happens? They West Coast, right, or something?
Yeah, they go over to America to help out with things. I'm like, do you know that the entire continent of Africa exists? I think they need your futuristic Wakanda tech first.
Yeah, that's God, that's such a shame.
Okay, let's go.
Characters as they probably could. I'm going to talk briefly about Black Panther. I'm assuming you've probably seen it because I think everyone saw it. The opening scene of Black Panther tells you a lot about who this movie is intended for. It features black children taking a break from their game of basketball to look up at something exciting happening.
Yeah, I never played basketball as a child.
Also, Marvel's trying to get away from black stereotypes. Opening scene, here's some black kids playing basketball in a court that doesn't have where the hoops don't have nets on them.
Yeah, and the kid doesn't have a father. That's funny.
Yeah, here's some black kids in a ghetto playing basketball because that's where black people live, isn't it? That's where the only place that black people reside is a ghetto.
Stereotypes are bad, right? Yeah, okay.
The movie's only for movie's for black people, right? It's not for whites. Nobody else can watch it. Even though I had people at my job, white guys, they were like, "Oh my god, I loved how black it was."
Fuck off!
It's so nuts, man.
I love the part where the black man made monkey noises at the white man. It felt like I was seeing me all over again. Yeah. I too make gorilla noises and throw my shit.
Also, it was so bad that character was originally. I think he was originally an ape.
He's a fucking bad. He was a badass supervillain. No, he wasn't an ape. What he did was there's an ape god. There's an ape god. Its avatar weighed about 2 tons, and unlike Boss, where you can just like worship her and you're fine to get all of her blessings. to get the blessings of the ape god, you have to kill the white gorilla avatar with your bare hands and drink its blood, bathe in its blood, and eat its flesh. And then you get its powers, and that's what M'Baku the man-ape did.
Yeah.
But now he's a vegan, right?
Yeah, but now he's a vegan that makes ook noises at a white guy. Okay.
All
Thanks. I feel
Don't
very
scare me.
represented right now.
Let's
Yeah.
Scare
continue.
me, white corner.
They made M'Baku so much worse by making him an actual human being.
Oh yeah,
If any.
the whole colonizer thing. Like, Shuri, your family, you are the direct blood descendants of the original colonizers of your country. Remember how your Wakanda used to be 5 tribes, and then your family conquered all the other 4 and made them be a part of your tribe? That's what colonization is, you fucking twat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now make some more sneakers.
But will Disney let them say anything like that? Hell no.
Okay.
Just a lot of black.
Back to the black kids playing basketball.
It's an image I've seen in theaters around the world when Black Panther was screening. To me, it seemed like a very
Wait,
clear
what?
message that this is who the movie
What
was
does that
for.
even mean?
Not just because it had a
Okay, there's plenty of movies out there. There's plenty of movies. What are you talking about? Like the MCUs are the only movies that exist.
Christ! Looking at 5 black kids with a basketball should not make you literally go, "Oh, this is so amazing! My heart bleeds. Look at these poor black people." It's like just 5 kids playing basketball. Shut the fuck up. God, this is like fucking
8
Urge.
Mile. They had the same thing, right?
So, Smart, I need to ask.
This is like the second coming of Christ.
When there's Canadian movies, do they start it out with like 4 kids playing ice hockey so that you know that movie is meant for you?
I think it was Cool Runnings or something like that. Maybe I can't remember.
That was bobsledding though.
Wait, it's like the Mighty Ducks then?
Oh, that was Florida.
Yeah, the Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks is Smud's movie.
Oh yeah. I've actually never
okay,
seen
so
it.
he's the only one that watches it, right? Not us.
No, but Smud,
It wasn't the
but
Mighty
Smud,
Ducks.
it's made for you.
I've never seen it. Sorry.
But Smud, that movie was made for you
And-
because you're Canadian.
And I actually like hockey, so yeah.
But on the other hand, isn't the Mighty Ducks also Disney?
Yeah, it's Disney
yeah.
before it got shit.
Okay.
Okay.
because
You're
it
right.
had a black superhero like Blade or Spawn. This was a film with a writer, director, and cast that was predominantly black.
I love how he just hand waved away Blade and Spawn like they don't matter.
It meant a lot to people.
Oh boy.
I remember seeing this video after Black Panther came out.
What does that
What is
matter?
going
There's plenty
on?
of people that go crazy. Have you seen the Star Wars prequels films?
People dance,
They go
guys.
crazy.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Wow, black people dancing like fucking insane people. Wow.
Give them. They don't need a reason to do this. You know what? Go to Trent. Get anyone who came from Trinidad and Tobago, and say, "Hey, you want to dance?" They say yes, and they will start dancing for you because that's what they do. And they're very,
Absolutely, yeah.
they are
Who love
very
to
good
dance?
at
Who
it.
doesn't love to dance?
They are very good at it. They will do it because it's fun, and they don't need a reason. Although it's good to have some food and some drink and some music. They like that too. So people dancing happens a lot. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Gee, oh, God damn it, this guy.
But it's just like, wow, black people dancing. Yeah.
It's like he's telling them how to. It's like he's telling them how to think and whatnot. Like, see, you should
Black
be
people
excited.
black people must dance to Black Panther because that black people do black things. Because I've never met a black person
Yeah,
in
it's
my
like
life.
okay.
This is a black person thing.
You
They're
dance
just
like
people.
monkey. You black.
Why are you? But it's such a weird obsession. Like they're just people. Let them watch a movie. Why are you like?
No, not to progressives. Black people are not like people. They are just
They're just tools.
Tools, yeah, political tools. And it's
Just to give you some insight into a black person's view, I specifically waited 3 weeks until after the first showing of Black Panther to avoid these normie retards ruining my time. Because I was going into it thinking, oh, hey, this is going to be cool Black Panther, and these retards are only going in to watch it because black superhero. And then it turns out it only was black. All it was black superhero.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it in theaters for that reason.
Yeah, where was this excitement during like Blade or Hancock? Huh?
Well, Hancock's not that good, but
Blade was cool. I like Blade.
Again, like that's what I was saying earlier. All these people gathering around dancing like retards because black superhero. These are fucking normies. They see their skin color and they're like, "Oh shit."
The thing is,
I'm going into them saying, I want to see the superhero. I'm here for superhero, not black.
Yeah, I don't want to like go to the cinema and have to like recreate the scenes from like Zulu just to watch a fucking movie.
Yeah, we want entertainment.
With black people, with black people chanting and like howling like monkeys because black movie has been made.
Well, it's the same thing with like the feminists too.
A billion of them
like,
already.
oh, females, they go nuts every time they get like a female.
They don't go to the women's superhero movies. What are you talking about? All that happens is Disney buys tickets to their own movie so that they can claim that they sold a lot of tickets.
Here is Vladimir Dragunov casually moving the goalposts. Well, in a way, yeah, that's one way of putting it. Here's
because
forcefully.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: in 5 years' time, when another black movie comes out, they'll just brush off Black Panther. So
all right. Here's Tyler Preston for one donation. Rando White Boy. See, this corporate-made film has lots of black people in it. It's made specifically for you. Me. No thank you. I'm just going to go back watching this cartoon about a Japanese robot boy fighting other robots. I like that story of a robot boy fighting other robots. That's kind of cool.
That doesn't narrow it down at all, but okay.
I know, but they're all pretty cool.
Or Astro Boy.
This is true. It could be Astro Boy. It could be Gundam. It could be Macross. It could be all kinds of things. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
It could literally just be. It could be a very weird Japanese documentary on life.
It could be a really weird Japanese TV commercial.
Yeah, be many things.
It literally could be. It could be like the coverage of like the royal wedding in the UK. For all I know, the Japanese version of it.
I still remember there's one Japanese commercial for like eye drops, and the eye drop is with the red sore eyes is represented by a giant tentacle kaiju with an eyeball on it, and then you got these fucking like little petite little cute Japanese girls. They like do their Power Rangers Sailor Moon shit. And then they zap him with the fucking eye drops they're trying to sell. And that was the commercial. Like, what? Oh, okay. All right, Japan, you crazy. Keep doing what you're doing, though, but still.
That's Japan. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Anyway, black people dancing in a room because that's what black people do. I'm just checking my progressive notes here.
I've never seen someone dance after a movie. That's weird. It's a weird thing to see.
Yeah. Look at these creatures.
Yeah, but just look at it. It's like they might as well just be wearing grass skirts with spears at this point in time.
Yeah, I know, but when you see this in public, it's like, a bunch of people having a party. It's like, I don't care. They're in my way. Let me just get by. Have your fun. Just don't annoy other people. And it's at a movie theater, so I'm assuming you have to be quiet. But you're outside the theater. I don't know how that works. So whatever.
Except in the Marvel movies where people cheer every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
expecting these troglodytes to ever be
it really gets annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok should have heard that response. Oh my god!
Yeah, this
Ragnarok is trash.
Too much.
All right, let's go.
It's fine.
Ragnarok is trash. Fight me.
I can't hear half the joke.
I've never liked a movie and wanted to start a dance party, but that's how much it means to people to have a character who finally speaks to their experiences and.
Oh Jesus! None of these people.
What are you talking about?
Yes, I remember. Yes, Jose, I remember that time when I was born to the prince of the most technologically advanced kingdom on the planet, and worshipped a Panther god and got a vibranium suit.
Do you know how
people don't think this shit? Okay.
Do you know how representation works? Really, this is
nuts. Fucking ridiculous.
I literally have more in common with Luke Cage than Black Panther.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You didn't see me hooting and hollering.
Supposed to be the relatable hero.
You didn't see me hooting and hollering and doing a fucking jig, right? And picking cotton and shit when the Netflix TV show was on.
Nobody did.
Right. Oh shit, Master Luke Cage on the TV. Fuck off.
This is just,
dude. It's like, how do you know their experience? How do you know that? You talk
because they're black. Because they're black. He knows their experience because of stereotypes, but stereotypes are bad.
Yeah, all black people long to go back to Africa. Don't you know about it?
No, Africa is cringe and blue-pilled. Fuck Africa.
Yeah,
Africa's fucking gay.
Africa's not really that gay because they're pretty base when it comes to gayness.
Okay, well, Uganda is. I don't know about the rest of Africa.
Uganda. Why are you gay?
You do not want this sickness in Uganda.
All right.
But yeah, whooping like this.
Culture.
These are
it's
not
a chance to feel as though their stories are finally being told. Stories that weren't being told in super.
No! You cannot be playing this scene of a woman just gyrating her tits and saying their story's being told. Stop! When has any of these black people been a superhero?
None.
The most heroic the most heroic thing these people have ever done is not shoot one of them. Right?
That's like disregarding all of their problems that they probably face.
This is just making out that black people are so fucking pathetic that just seeing a black person on screen is the greatest thing that's ever happened to black people.
I can imagine, like, okay, black people are doing this. Okay, so when Banshee finally showed up on screen, right? Were there a bunch of like Irish people just out there in the theaters river dancing and shit?
No.
We finally have our Irish representation. Oh, thank you, Michael Flatley. Very cool.
Yeah.
No, we don't care about that. What about Donkey from Shrek?
Here's
Donkey, sorry. Shrek.
Here's an individual scenario.
Okay. How did you get Donkey and Shrek confused? What the fuck?
Because I'm thinking black and Eddie Murphy, and then I confused it too somehow.
This is all anecdotal stuff of a group of people who feel a certain emotion because we're not even sure why. And if it's because
they saw black people on a screen. They saw black people on Master's screen, and they're like, "Oh, we go fucking turned into like extras from like a historical black drama, just oogling all over the place."
I've seen so many movies and TV shows. I'm like, what are you guys cheering about? This is like not the first time I've ever seen this.
It's pretty much the same thing what happened with Obama in the States as well. It's like why did you vote for this guy?
He got the West skin color.
Yeah, he's black.
At least there, it's like, okay, I guess I kind of get it, but...
No, that's retarded.
I know,
that's just like fucking women voting for Hillary in 2016 because they have a plunge.
Well,
but I can understand
the logic
for that bullshit,
the
right?
logic is the same.
This is a fictional character we're talking about.
Right, but they don't see the story as a superhero story. They see it as, oh, this is a black representative film that is mainstream and AAA.
But it's not.
That's the problem.
But it's not, though.
Like Glory was better for black representation in the mainstream. Black Panther.
Yeah.
Glory.
I was gonna say this is like all those corpses getting up and celebrating because Joe Biden won. It's like
just becomes a thriller video out of nowhere thanks to Dominion machines.
Yeah, you don't see all those dead people celebrating because they're finally represented by a president, do you? So why are they gyrating on the floor because black people are on the cinema screen? This just portrays black people as fucking pathetic. That the literal sight of a black person on screen makes them literally revert to fucking as Bears would put it, fucking monkeys dancing in the fucking forest throwing feces at each other.
All right.
Well, these are the narcissistic ones, you know. I mean, real people that are grounded, that are based in reality, they don't do this.
Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying is, these sort of images make it look that way, and it's like, this is not good for. This is not what you think it is.
I believe they're embarrassed by this.
Yeah,
just like anybody else would be.
Yes.
All right. Here's Vladimir Dragunov, Africa's Cringe Clip It. Okay.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead.
Here's Alex Halo. Chuchulain from Fate is best Irish guy in anime. Okay. Lancer. Okay. All right. The guy with blue hair. Sure, why not?
And an Irishman with blue hair.
Well, you know, if you're gonna have a superhero, he's gonna have blue hair. So.
Aye.
That's anime for you. Okay, we're gonna go for a few more minutes with this video because this is getting silly.
Yeah, this is really. I forgot it's about comicsgate, by the way.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure either.
Told in superhero
the war on
movies
diversity.
About white Americans. This is why representation matters. Comics have been reaching
Whoa,
out to
no,
audiences
what?
in the same.
Whoa! Just go back. Did you just say dancing in the cinema is why diversity matters?
Really?
Party. But that's how much it means to people to have a character who finally speaks to their experiences and culture. It's a chance to feel as though their stories are finally being told.
African
stories
culture and Black American
culture
are not the same thing.
White Americans. This is why representation matters. Comics have been reaching out to audiences in the same spirit, with new characters such as the new Muslim.
Right. I have never seen white people dance because of a fucking movie.
Well, the argument would be that because we've had so many white content for us, it's nothing.
When the first movie came out, white people were not dancing in the streets.
Well, okay, you can attribute that to.
Hey, is this white man in a movie? Gerald's moving pictures. Hey, get your flappers.
Sure.
Yeah, here's the thing. Again, they're acting like. Here's the thing. They're acting again. They're acting like Black Panther is like the first movie to ever do this, right? There's plenty of movies. There's stories. Music. It's like there's a culture behind that. It's like, what are you talking about? And I mean in the YouTuber, not.
Well, I would argue the culture of these people is a lot more what's the word? Not tribal, but more.
It's very tribal because black.
Well, I would say we're all tribal in that regard, but in the concept of their culture, meaning music and dance and sound and rhythm, like that's what they enjoy. So when they are excited and want to celebrate, they dance, and that's totally fine. And you can reasonably do that in public.
Fucking cringy.
To the rest of us,
to
the rest of us,
over Black Panther.
Well, it doesn't matter. To the rest.
Yeah, that reminds me. The music in Black Panther does not fit for that movie. It's off. Something. Just having rap.
What I'm saying is their community or sense of whatever causing them to do this is part of their background. So they express their happiness like this. Whether that makes any sense to the rest of us or this fellow is up in the air because he's just saying, look how they're dancing. This is important. You're like, that's not really an argument. That just means they have their own way of expressing themselves. Doesn't mean they're going to go out and buy a bunch of Black Panther comic books or they're going to support the industry. This is just a movie for them to dance. Because, hey, Obama, he's black.
For whatever reason,
right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, this guy on screen is black. Wow, that's it. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the content. It has nothing to do with the story.
What does that have to do with comicsgate?
Or comic books or anything. It has nothing to do with the reasons why we go see movies.
Well, it's not just comic gates. It's the war on diversity.
It is their own culture and their own mentality of a thing that is big. That is it's a new thing and people like it and I like it because it has stuff that I like. That's about it. There's nothing really deeper than that. And that's why when you ask these people what they did, why did you vote for Obama? He's black. That's it. That's all. That's all it is. It's not about
the only thing that video makes me think. The only thing that video makes me think is somewhere a mental ward has had a lot of patients escape, and someone should be calling the authorities because they're all in a cinema dancing. So.
I'm not even sure that was a cinema. I'm not even sure. Is that like the foyer? Or?
To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. It's just really weird that they're dancing.
Now, if that was a public place, not a private store, then it'd be okay because it's like a park or in the summertime downtown they take out the streets and they block them off. You could turn festivals and that'd be great, no problem. But if it's actually a physical place like a private business, like a movie theater, then it's like whoa, that's not good. That's not cool. So. There are time and places for certain things. But if these people, again, this is part of their culture. This is part of their mentality. They're so elated that they have to express it that way. And this is a phenomenon. This is not some A equals B. This is not some, make black movie superhero thing. And therefore, everyone will go watch it, make billions of dollars. Like, no. There's no understanding that I can make sense of unless a marketer knows what the hell they're talking about. Unless some sociologist can make sense of this. This guy saying, hey, look how important is these people because they're dancing doesn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
These people, if you were to ask these people, why are you dancing? It's like, it's a black superhero. You're like, what does that mean? He's black.
Well, he's black. Like, okay.
What about
That's all we care about,
What about Blade? What about all these other why didn't you dance for that? Oh, my friends aren't here. My mom isn't here.
Because we're a bunch of fucking normies, that's why.
That is a good way of putting it because they don't know better. The actual fans of Marvel or I don't know, maybe Black Panther or the world surrounding Black Panther or other comics go in there with this lore in their head going, I'm going to expect XYZ. Maybe they won't do it. See how it works. So they're already equipped mentally, intellectually, not emotionally. They're not ready to go in there to cry and laugh and dance. They're there to see the thing they know on the screen to see if it translated well because that's what we do when we see
well, that's funny. It's like they didn't cheer for Black Panther in Civil War.
I did because he was awesome in Civil War, and then they ruined him in his own movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his fight scenes were the best in Civil War. What happened to that?
Now you
but
could
it's just interesting.
He said I never freeze.
You could argue. You could argue.
It's not. It's not even that it's a black hero. It's just like it was all. Well, there's more black people.
The
now.
African, I don't even know because I haven't watched the film, but from what I understood, the Wakanda culture is an amalgamation of other African tribes and practices. So families can
it's
go.
It's amalgamation of absolutely no African tribes. It's just the idea of soy socialist Americans.
The Wakandans stole their shit from everyone else.
Yeah, so it's like a pastiche of other things that these people from their culture can go look. That reminds me of this or that. And that's what they're getting off on, I'd imagine, because why would they care about
Wakandan culture?
You would have to assume
spaceships.
Right?
Well, yeah, they would.
No, Wakandan culture is really nothing like any actual African culture beyond grass skirts and howling like monkeys because that's what black people do in Africa. And it's like clearly whoever wrote this has never been to Africa.
But I would imagine it has to do with those cultural elements that are easily understood, not the spaceships and not the technology and not the guns and all that stuff. It's the actual.
That's what Wakanda is, though. Their entire culture is devoted to the worship of Bast, the mining of vibranium, and the protection of the great vibranium mountain.
Vibranium that was never theirs to begin with.
It fell out of the sky, and they claimed it. So, I'm okay with that. First come, first serve. That's fine.
To this day, do we even know where the vibranium actually came from, or is it still just a mystery?
I think,
it's still a mystery.
If I remember correctly, the vibranium mountain landing in Africa is what caused the extinction of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, but no, I mean where it came from space to Earth. Where'd it come from?
Space. It came from the black planet.
Maybe if the TV, maybe it was the TVA. I don't know.
All right.
The find of Nigar 5.
Here's Mike Testa. Hey, Mike.
Nigar 5.
MCU Black Panther seems pretty uncivilized when you think about the backstory, especially when he is the one who actually stole what wasn't his. Really?
Yeah, the vibranium.
Huh. Interesting.
No, the vibranium belonged to Wakanda.
Oh, okay. It's just everything else they stole.
No.
But then how did Howard Stark get?
I'm joking.
Howard Stark they gave vibranium to Howard Stark because they didn't like the Nazis, but they were not there.
Wasn't it Claw? No, wasn't it Claw that gave Stark the?
No.
Or no? Oh
Ulysses
no.
Claw wasn't born.
Claw just stole it, but I just want to know who gave it to Howard.
But the Wakandans gave vibranium to Howard Stark because they wanted to support the war effort while still not getting involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here's Francis Board Coppola. Thanks for the donation. Wait, you mean to tell me you guys didn't have groups of skinheads dancing when American History X came out? And Jews didn't start dancing in the street?
Yeah, there's a bunch of skinheads standing inside the fucking movie theater headbanging and shit.
And Jews didn't start dancing in the street when Seinfeld debuted? What's going on here? Well... Yeah.
No, Jews weren't dancing in the street when Schindler's List was made.
It's a bunch of Jews outside of Hava Nagila. Like, wait, what? Guys, it's Schindler's List. Like, it doesn't matter. We're being represented. Hava Nagila.
Yeah. Wait till we get like a Mexican superhero in the MCU. You know.
Fucking he killed. Mexican dudes drive their lowriders into the theaters and just bounce them up and down inside the fucking movie theater.
Jesus Christ.
Totally.
All right, here's my test.
My God.
Going. You're right, Eric. What it needs is more bongos. What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, everything needs more bongos.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You said everything, right? No.
I don't know. Hawk is agreeing with Mike. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Everything needs more bongos.
It's easier to agree. It's like dealing with an Alzheimer's patient. Just agree with what they say because they'll forget it 5 minutes later.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway,
Right. Yeah.
Let's see what he has to say about Miss Marvel.
Is the Miss Marvel a half black, half Hispanic Spider-Man and a black Captain America? And if you're wondering why we're getting so many
that is a downgrade. That is a fucking downgrade. Falcon used to be his own character.
Yes.
Like I didn't like Falcon because I think his powers are stupid, but he was his own character. Yeah. And now he's just the black version of a white character.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
And then Miles Morales, what was the deal with him in the comics? Because he was kind of like...
He was from the Ultimate Universe.
Mm-hmm. What was his deal? He was black.
Yeah, it's like in the Ultimate Universe...
He said he's half black and half... what was it, Puerto Rican?
Yes. Yep.
Why not just do a Puerto Rican? Where's that representation?
Because Puerto Ricans don't count.
Oh,
hey,
right. Yeah.
Hey. Fuck you. Hey. Bitch.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes.
Okay, then I stand by my comment. They don't count.
Okay.
I just think it's funny. They don't go all the way.
Okay, now the basic gist of Miles before we move on with your point. It's like in the Ultimate Universe, I think it was like he got powers. I think from the same spider that bit Peter in Ultimate.
Yeah.
And in one of Pete's fights with the Green Goblin, who's basically the Hulk in the Ultimate Universe, the Goblin actually killed him, and Miles had to take up the title. And then when Secret Wars 2015 happened, when they merged Ultimate and 616, Miles was along for the ride. He's one of the few things from Ultimate that they retained.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shouldn't have retained anything from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, the Ultimate Universe sucked for the most part anyway, so good riddance.
The only good thing that came out of the Ultimate Universe was superpowered Captain America. just because it makes Captain America's actions more consistent.
Do you think the A on my mask stands for France? Fuck that stupid line.
Here's Mike Testa. You mean Token Spider-Man and Token Captain America? Oh.
Captain America Falcon is Token. Miles is legit good.
Well, now he is.
Well, now he is, yeah. When he started out, he was pretty Token, but
he's just Black Peter Parker. Yay!
Well, not really, but
oh yeah, because he's worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at first, but now
no.
Once they've learned their lesson,
now he's better. Yeah,
he is better now, especially with Spider-Verse.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, Spider-Verse, the game, sort of.
Yeah.
He's a funnier character than we've ever had.
We need to get Miles working.
It's like, once they learned their lesson with their representation characters. Miles is one of the
black people are like poetry; they rhyme.
Yeah,
Miles is actually good now.
Okay.
There's not much else.
All right, let's go.
So what's the deal with Miss Marvel? Like, okay, Muslim.
She's a Muslim. So Allah Akbar, motherfuckers.
For some reason, Marvel keeps trying to get away from the X-Men. I don't know why. So they just replaced the Inhumans with the X-Men now. So at some point, she was exposed to the Terrigen Mist, which shouldn't be possible because the Terrigen Mist is supposed to be on the Inhumans base on the moon. But we'll ignore that little trifle.
Yeah, the Terrigen Mist just showed up in Jersey for some reason.
Yeah, and now Miss Marvel is discount Mr. Fantastic. And all she ever uses her powers for is big fists.
Yeah.
And big
That's all she ever does.
Is she a lesbian?
Probably. I don't know.
Oh, no, she's not.
Would be
she's straight. No, she's straight.
Oh.
All right.
Oh. Well, then
she would have to, right?
My idea is completely gone now.
Okay, let's keep going.
Well, you really think they're not going to have some soy boy get fisted in Marvel? Come on now.
We've had 4 Flashes, 5 Robins, and more Green Lanterns than I can count. For what successes there have been.
Yeah, but at least DC makes the attempt of making all those characters with the same title unique.
Most people don't
1,500, by the way. That's the amount of Green Lanterns there are.
Typically revert back to...
Yeah, and only 4 of them are from Earth.
Hold on. I can't... What's going on?
Right.
There's more Green Lanterns than I can account. Apparently, this motherfucker can't count to 1,500.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. The Green Lanterns are a core.
Yes,
it's not just
they're a police force.
There's literally a space army.
God, we've had more police officers than I can count for. Well, yeah, I know. There's been quite a few. Green Lantern's not a singular name for one person.
So does the blonde female Robin count as being diverse or not?
No,
she's not black.
She ends up becoming her own superhero anyway.
Mm-hmm. What, you mean like Nightwing and
was that Steph or was that someone else? I can't remember.
Stephanie's spoiler, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, spoiler. Yes.
Yeah. I don't get the Robin argument at all because
the Flash and Robin argument, because in the case of these two, it's just a title, and each character is most certainly different from one another.
Also, Wally West took up the mantle of the Flash because Barry Allen is his uncle, and his uncle died to save the universe.
The multiverse.
The multiverse, rather. So, yeah.
Wally specifically was the Flash for 23 goddamn years. While Barry was being chased by the Black Racer, as I mentioned in a previous Smudcast.
All right,
I feel like these Robin characters, like 2 of them became their own character, like Red Hood and Nightwing.
Almost all of them did, except for Damian, who's the current Robin.
Yeah, Damian's the only one. Yeah.
All right, here's Mike Testa. I was saying Black Panther needs bongos as a joke. Yes, thank you. We know.
Yes, Mike. We got the joke.
Here is White Boy.
Now I get it.
Here's White Boy Summer Appreciator. Okay. I'm going to make an inclusive ABC sitcom about a Nazi, a Hamas commander, and Al Sharpton living together in a swanky New York studio apartment. They get into hilariously racist hijinks and bond over shared anti-Semitism. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah.
Al Sharpton is Al Sharpton. I don't know. It's.
Well, that's to be honest with you, that's a bit like the Nazi I could probably handle, but Al Sharpton, isn't he like a bit overboard with his anti-Semitism?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to
when you make Hitler seem nice to the Jews, you're going a bit too far.
All right, back to this.
And more Green Lanterns than I can count. For what successes there have been far more failures.
Well, that sounds like life. Thanks. What's your point? I mean, this is what happens in storytelling all the time. You have an idea, you have a character concept. Not too many people like it. It doesn't do so well. Doesn't sell as much as you like, and then you try again.
Who's that Green Lantern? Is that John Stewart?
That's John Stewart, who's basically one of the better ones.
Yeah, but how is he a failure though?
No, these are the winners.
He's
I
just
think.
making a stupid argument.
Yeah, these are the winners. I think. So X-23 is a winner.
Yeah, these are the winners.
Yeah.
Kamala's a winner.
Those are winners. Okay.
X-23. Yeah, these are the winners.
Yeah.
Kamala Khan's a winner. Okay.
She's fine. She's not all that bad.
No. Just because she's a blank slate that does nothing except make her fists big.
As long as she doesn't cry about patriarchy, I'll take it.
I mean, John, a lot of people started with John thanks to the DCAU, which we can't shut up about, especially me, but it's like they skipped over Hal because I think that was the time when he was Parallax. So.
Yeah. Also, Hal's kind of anyway.
All right.
That fact of is that most people don't like new characters as much as the old ones. Things typically revert back to when the character was most popular, which is generally what they were like in their earliest stories. It's why Spider-Man is often depicted as a teenager. These are the tropes and eras that made them successful.
That's not true. Come on.
Why Spider-Man's technically a teenager. Yeah, why do you think One More Day is as shit as it is? Because he doesn't grow up.
Yeah, here's the thing. They just keep rebooting it because they just keep rebooting it. Okay.
Then why didn't they reboot Peter instead of doing One More Day?
Yeah.
Well, if you ever played the game, it's like they made him an adult in that one, so...
For fucking once?
Yeah.
This is just... It's also comic book time. As in, like, their kids... The time doesn't move in comic books.
Batman's always 32 or whatever.
Just in a meta sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's even an in-universe explanation for the whole scaling, the whole time scale bullshit.
Oh, really?
But let's not get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like Batman too,
Yeah, no, all the popular characters, they're frozen in time. Yeah, exactly.
Or if you want to go outside too, it's like we always go back to Optimus Prime, just easier.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
No, not too much with Transformers though.
Let's go.
They're uncomfortable characters, going back to a time when characters were typically white men.
Here we go.
Criticism from the left about the state of comics isn't particularly new. Gail Simone, the eventual writer of...
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about Gail Simone. There's no reason. We're not going to learn anything. We're not going to laugh.
You've already done a video on that, right?
Good old Whale Simone.
It's Gail Simone, guys. Once I say that name, you should be, oh dear, we're done. So
only women are used as their deaths are used as catalyst for a superhero. Like, bitch, do you know who Batman is?
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, there's one more super chat. We're gonna go to stream memes if there are any. I don't know. Because Bears is busy.
I've
so.
made a couple.
I've
made a couple.
Hopefully.
Mike Testa, Bears. She could always use her womb as a weapon. Is that some sort
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Gail Simone the one that reversed Barbara's paralysis? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was
how?
I think it was some kind of cybernetic surgery or something. But the point of that is that I don't think there was anyone complaining that Barbara was paralyzed, though, because she was even better as Oracle, in my honest opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like her leading the Birds of Prey, being Overwatch and intelligence gathering for Batman and Nightwing, that was much better than just being another,
Yeah, her
person
being
out on the street.
Her being Oracle was actual legitimate representation, because even if you're disabled, you can still do good. You can still do the right thing. Doesn't matter.
I'm not sure who this is, but Cavernacle's muscular woman fetish is true. All right, well, good for him.
Oh wow.
Wait.
I don't know. The Lone Wanderer just posted a non-meme or like whatever. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. Great looking picture.
Oh wait, we're at Stream Memes. Okay.
Yeah. Here's Horror Master D3X. Literature Devil telling the grand tale of comicsgate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That went on for like 10 minutes. Like, wow, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Old man yells at comics.
There he is. There's Lex. Look at that guy. Look at that freaking puffed up chest. Jesus.
Indeed.
Totally looks like Jesse Eisenberg, right?
Oh, totally. I
would have much rather they had just gone with Mark Strong.
There is the Trump.
Also, like, speculated to be doing that before Eisenberg.
So there's the Trump MODOK.
Yeah.
Actually modeled his face.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying for a while now. They actually did do this.
No, I saw you just said they put his speeches. I didn't realize it was the face too. Oh God.
It's the face that it's the face that we've been saying.
Oh no. Oh no.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
And
this is great. Problem. This is fantastic. Don't compare yourself with other people. Compare yourself with who you were yesterday.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh boy. If you encounter a cat on the street, pet it.
Oh God, the horror.
The horror, yes.
Love it.
God, what a Nazi take.
Oh, there's more. If your life is not what it could be, try telling the truth. If you cling desperately to an ideology or wallow in nihilism, try telling the truth.
What, did you wrong? What, did these people suck at?
I love it. This is fantastic. Just gotta do it in that Kermit the Frog voice. Inquisitor Mateus, keep convos out of the stream memes.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone starts talking and it's like, guys, shut up.
Just say one thing, that's it. Stop having full-blown conversation.
Here's manga. We have one part T, one part A, one part story.
Tits, ass, and story. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then comic books, we have mostly half and half politics and themes, and then 1% story and 1%, what is that? A male?
Sexuality or some shit.
The symbol for Mars. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Bearserker. Oh, there you go. Comic writers before 2007 politics. Whoa.
Yes. Exactly.
Is that honey? What is that?
I mean,
olive oil.
Remind me. When was the Civil War comic? What,
2004? Yeah, but I think it was 04, 05.
Wasn't it 6?
No. Civil War was like 04, 05, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that still wasn't like the genesis of the current like political bullshit. Not really. That was just like the first step.
No, hiring Mark Waid was the first step.
Yeah, fair enough.
Here's Mike Testa. The Quintessens.
Oh yeah. He's in for Lit Dev, but Lit Dev's gone now, so we can skip over these nightmarish ones.
Transformers. What the fuck?
Here is what is happening here?
Damn
it. Mayday memes. So we have Lee Ditko and Conway with Ramita weighing 10 tons.
Nick Spencer
doing 5 tons.
Nick Spencer with 5.
And there's absolutely no contest with Dan Slott.
Yeah.
Dan Slott.
Dan Slott with just 1.
And obviously there's absolutely no contest. Yes, that is a correct caption.
So yes. 2 female Spider-Men?
Yes, that's why we need equality.
Yeah,
then
Mayday Parker from another universe.
And then Brian Michael Bendis with 0.001.
Jesus.
Working in the negatives.
Did we see
negatives? Yes.
Did we have
Brian Michael Bendis, who fucking obliterated the marriage between Mary Jane Watson and Peter Parker because he wanted Spider-Man to be like he was when Brian Michael Bendis was writing the comics.
That was Bendis and Quesada.
Yeah,
that was both of them. That was both of them.
Like, good job, guys. You fucking idiots.
All right. Hello, you/Mayday memer. What do you want? Ham-fisted politics, and I need to do more of it this time. Also, I'm going to kill off.
This?
Are you crazy? You'll destroy Mayday's entire character.
Mayday.
Yeah, Mayday Parker, yes.
You're a hack. Me gearing up to read Dan Slott's interpretation of Mayday Parker in Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
For these kinds of reasons, I'm kind of dreading Spider-Verse 2 because anything could happen.
So
I know, right? This is bad sometimes, but
so these
are.
Like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
These are all 3 comic book. This is one page. Like it looks like one giant page that. Or a master.
No,
it's
split into 3 picks.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, this is the
Jordan Peterson.
The Jordan Peterson stuff.
Yeah, this is Red Skull saying some very normal things. Some things the Democrats say whenever it's not an election year.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna. It's not a meme, so I'm not gonna read it. But we were aware of this comic months ago. So.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Sam wants us to do our part and let Marvel and DC die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sad.
This is the 3rd time we have Quentin and a Mike Testa meme. I don't know what's going on there.
I think, to be honest with you,
Quentin.
For someone who seems to want me and Quentin to get together, I'm starting to think that Mike has a little thing for Quentin. I think Mike might be a closeted Quintophobe.
No, be Quintophile.
Quintophile, yes. Quintophile, yes.
Here's admitting we're racist, apparently. Okay.
No, it's me admitting I'm racist because damn it, I don't care. You're racist. Yes, I am. Now what?
José, Spanish Portuguese origin. Well, the thing is, there's no accent aigu. You see, it just says Jose.
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 And he's an accent aigu.
Jose.
No, there's no accent aigu. You can't pronounce it that way then.
Yeah, Joseph makes sense.
Joseph makes sense, but not Jose. So anyway.
But not Jose, no.
What?
Oh, Mark Hamill. Yeah. Mark. Yeah, because I thought Eric said Mark Hamill earlier. So yeah, this is Mark Hamill.
Camel. Oh yeah.
Here's Jose OS, and then Jehovah. Okay.
Making me remember my past. Not a good thing.
Runner, what the fuck?
Dunes. Oh my goodness, it's a young Luke.
Dude, Sandrunner.
That's a Mark Hamill pre-car crash as well.
Yeah.
There's a young one.
Oh yeah. Did you just say that's a young one?
What?
That's a young one. Can't I to myself?
Probably says that all the time.
So here's Hawk remembering when he saw his first black man.
Back in 1955, that's when I saw my first black man.
Or Master D3X. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it does me. Character development. And
I mean,
yeah.
Is Hawk wrong though?
I wouldn't call this.
Jason Todd became better after he got brutally murdered.
Yeah, I don't think.
After Superboy Prime brought him back by accident. Fight me on that one, Bears.
I don't think the actual death is character development. It's the struggling which is character development, not the killing of someone.
Mm-hmm.
Once they're dead, they're no longer a character. So.
Yeah. To be honest with you, that death was the most character development he had got up until that point.
Oh. Robot Chicken has you beat there. The 6 million peso.
Yes, peso.
6 million peso, man.
Very good.
I haven't even seen that. That's awesome.
Eric's dad can be the 6 peso man. Then okay, sure, whatever.
Black Panther is blaxploitation. Changed my mind.
No, because blaxploitation is fun to watch.
Oh.
Damn.
What, you didn't like all the jokes in that movie?
But Todd, look at that. Look at that. They took my quote from the movie with George Clooney.
What?
Dapper Dan?
Yeah, George Clooney. What's the name of that movie again?
What movie?
That's cool.
Was it Oh Brother?
Oh Brother,
that
Where Art Thou? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a musical / really old.
People say it's like a take on the Odyssey as well.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's cute.
Yeah.
Alex Halo. Expectation, interpretation. Yeah, anime.
The Irish man with the blue hair.
That is Chuchulain,
yeah. Okay, good, right. I'm going to kick you in the Kessler, right?
The Kessler?
What do the Irish folks say?
Oh, good question. I don't know.
What do Irish folks say? They say a lot of things.
I'll show you some pikey call-out videos when we're done.
Here's Gorgeous Rex. It's so nice to see the colored folks doing those dances when they see their stories. José.
You can. The one from Francis Ford Coppola, though. I just no.
We've already seen that too.
Oh God! What the fuck?
What the hell?
This is the interpretation we need. Holy jeez, we saw this.
The
representation.
It's the crucifixion of Sonic. It's the crucifixion of Sonic with Tails is pregnant, right? Yeah, with Sonic's baby apparently.
Why is Tails pregnant?
How?
Because Sonic fans. That's why.
I love the Shrek in the background. That's the scariest.
Oh my God! Why is Patrick in this universe in SpongeBob? And Shrek.
Why is SpongeBob skewering Sonic?
Because
Shrek's in the background.
There's a lot of questions that need answering.
Is Shrek God in this universe?
Yes.
I guess.
Shrek's God in every universe.
Like, this is my son, the beloved, whom I've approved.
So.
Okay.
This is what's her face? Miss Marvel?
Marvel.
Token.
Miss Token.
Captain Token, Lady Token.
Captain Token's costume looks better in this than it does in the comic and the show. Also, female Thor is retarded. Fucking hate it.
Yeah, Bears, I wanted to ask you, does that make sense? Because
no,
goddamn, Thor is his first name.
Thor is Thor's name.
No, yeah, exactly.
Like, how does that make sense?
There's already an alternate universe comic book where Jane Foster, like back in the 70s, where Jane Foster became Thor.
Yeah.
Right? She got the powers of Thor, but she called herself Thordis because that's the female version of the name Thor.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
also,
so weird.
But again, in the mainstream though, like Thor fell in love with Jane Foster. He wanted her to not die of old age. So he took her up to Asgard to see if Odin would bestow upon her baseline Asgardian level abilities. So she had to face a bunch of trials, and she was not worthy of baseline Asgardian abilities. But somehow she can lift Thor's hammer.
Which is just one of the biggest freebie in all of comics.
Also, for some fucking reason, she has cancer, right? And whenever she uses the power of Thor somehow negates all the chemotherapy she had. And at one point, actual Thor, offered her a magical Asgardian cure and she had the nerve to fix her mouth and say to Thor Odinson, I don't want to use Asgardian magic to fight my battles for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then die then, bitch.
I'm done.
If I can go ahead, keel over halfway into the next event comic.
I being a superhero without Thor's hammer, you fucking retarded cunt.
I really hope. I know. I hope that Thor movie, that whatever the hell they call it,
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
I hope it fails. I hope everybody
imagine,
laughs at how fucking stupid it is.
Oh, I can only imagine how they're going to bring back the hammer, though, because without that, they can't do shit.
No, she'll get that big ass hammer. The Stormbreaker.
We got an entire Ginga. We have an entire fucking shelf full of Infinity Stones, right? So just pull out one of the Time Stones and go back and grab the hammer because fuck it.
No, they don't have the stones. No, they don't. Actually, they don't have the stones anymore.
They don't have a Time Stone.
They don't have the stones,
do they?
How do they not have the Infinity? No, I'm talking about the Loki bullshit.
Guys. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. Apart from
bring the hammer. The TVA was supposed to control everything.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So have the TVA pull out one of the fucking Time Stones.
Here's Mike Testa.
Guys, can we just finish these streaming and we have this argument later?
Here's Mike Testa.
Why would Loki?
Here's Mike Testa. And it's a picture of bears bonking someone who said, guy who said Kamala is okay.
Kamala is okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's Giga Man, right?
It's also Mike Testa punching them.
Also Mike Testa.
I love how Mike Testa's body is just a fist.
Is that a Batman mask?
No, that's a Griffith mask, uncultured troglodyte.
Wow.
Maybe he is a fist.
Is that a Batman? Wow.
He's like the hand from the Addams Family.
He's
just it with Mike Testa's head on it.
Here's another Mike Testa meme. Bears come back. We have to bring you back to your homeland. What? Why?
Big agree. Shut the fuck up. It's blue-pilled and lame there. It's not my fucking home.
Oh, he's being chased by someone in a biplane? What is going on?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
It's family. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah. All right. Here's Gigaman. Oh, Gigaman made one.
Mike, what the fuck?
0 days without nonsense. Yeah.
0 days without nonsense.
I'm a basic bitch.
And Mike Testa to finish it off. Why the F am I here and dancing like a retard? Bring Mr. back home?
Me back home. It's supposed to be me.
Yeah.
I think. That's like if I got hit. That would be my fucking luck too. I get hit by Truck Coon and then isekai'd into Africa.
Okay, that was
interesting.
That was a different series of memes. Okay.
I missed. God damn it, Mike! Fuck.
I missed. Mike, you've also mistyped.
A wise man once said, "Comics are weird."
All right. Well, I don't think we're going to finish this.
Someone once said, Mike Testa, no spell right.
I don't think this is worthy of our time. If they're referencing certain people that are just a waste of time.
Yeah.
And we're only on number 1, part 1. It's just like, okay, that's going to be pretty boring. This video soon drifted away from anything regarding comicsgate or even diversity and was just going straight into fucking.
It's always the fandom. Oh, you gotta think about the fandom.
Anyway,
the toxic fandom that's never toxic until these fucking leftoids get in there.
Here's Tyler Preston.
These guys say so.
Chucha Lane is the original Incredible Hulk. Really?
Wait, what?
I don't know about the actual depictions of Chucha Lane in historical mythos or stories. I don't know, but obviously that's different than what anime has done. So, I don't know his powers. Yeah, I don't know his magical powers in Chucha Lane, how he gets them. So, Thank you, folks. Though that was, not the greatest video to cover about comicsgate from 2 years ago, but glad we had LitDev to explain it to us. That was great. Thanks, guys, for being the comic gurus you are.
Yes.
I don't know all this stuff, and it's always nice to be refreshed.
You're better off.
To be honest with you, Smud, you don't have to know much about comics when you get into these sort of arguments, because these people aren't going to talk about comics. They're going to start,
Yeah, they always go into the politics and nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get very far, but
that has anything to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun to go through some of it, and we learned a little bit about some older comic books and movies that came out recently, or the past few years rather. So fun times for me. Stopped raining, so I'm not scared of the internet dying. I was kind of worried about disconnecting on me, but thank you. Everything's great. And we had a good time. So keep the suggestions coming. We're going to try our best to go through these videos, even though they're so long, but keep recommending. Even if they're big, we'll try how far we go. If it's a good video, we'll keep going, but this one was just not one of those, unfortunately. So
yeah,
please give us more good videos.
Yeah, once you start mentioning certain people, once videos start mentioning certain people, it's a bit like, no, we've heard their shit.
It's like you're done. Get down from the soapbox.
If you want shitty videos covered, DM me and we'll cover them on Sloppy Second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a matter of time and content and what you can do with your time, and it's like, oh, this is not worth it. So anyway,
and to be honest with you, my last week go really good. I don't want to commit suicide.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Okay. So thank you again. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Keep the sessions coming, and take it easy. Bye-bye.
Okay.